Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Go4GW2 Cup number 38. I am Storm, and back with me finally today is Heurix. How are you doing, man? Heurix cannot hear me
Hello.
apparently. There we go. Are you able
Now
to
I
hear
can hear
me?
you.
All
Every
right,
time
good.
for some reason.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I am psyched. We've got what, 7 teams today, and a pretty good-looking first matchup between Radioactive and the Sympol Life, who likes to make a nice pun with the symbols there. So, I'm liking that team. But what are your thoughts on today's tournament?
Oh, it's going to be a good one for sure. This first matchup is obviously one to be pretty hyped about. Two really solid teams going up against each other, and we're going to have games like this all day. I mean, there's a lot of good teams signed up today, so it's going to be a really fun one today for sure.
Yeah, definitely so. I'm really looking forward to this first matchup, especially. I do want to remind you guys, these guys are obviously battling it out for $500 today. 400 going to first, 100 to second place. Along with that, we do have 3 gem code giveaways for you guys. Thanks to Wilco, the NA admin for ESL Cups. Got to give him a big shout out for those. So between the breaks here, we will be giving away one 800 gem code per break, if I'm not mistaken. One after the first set, one after the second, and one after the final. So definitely stay tuned for those. Follow the channel. I believe you'll be needing to do that if you don't already. Not sure why you wouldn't be if you're already here. But anyhow, guys, let's go ahead and get into our first matchup. We have both teams actually waiting for us, as we have Radioactive over here on the red and Sympol Life over here on the blue. I'm going to go ahead and take us away with Radioactive. We've got Quaggan, that is going to be Olrun playing DD Ellie. He's going to be running Melandra runes today. That is something I don't think we saw last week. He's going to be running with Selly Amulet. He's sticking to that Earth Attunement over Fire, so he's going to be a little bit more tankier, obviously running Stone Heart for himself. Next up, Crisis. He's going to be playing the Warrior as per usual with that Greatsword. Looks like he's going back to Axe Shield, Scholar Runes, and Zerker Amulet. So he's going full on Zerker for himself. This is something I know I like to see him play. It's a lot of fun to watch him do this. So I'm really looking forward to watching him take some names on this map if he's able to. Next up, Ready Made. Going to be playing Staff Ellie as always with, looks like he's running Runes of the Monk this time with Selly Amulet. He's going to be running Earth over that Fire as well, obviously. That's a little bit more popular on the Staff Ellie. So look for him to give out a lot of support to his team. The big damage, playing that Guardian as per usual, running with the staff. Looks like he's got the Mace focus with the Soldier Runes, Magi Amulet, and he's going to be running Honor, Valors, and Virtues for himself, obviously with the 5 shouts. Going to be able to put out a lot of burst heals for his team. And finally, we've got Trips playing the second DDLE. He's going to be running Strength Runes, and he is obviously, well, he's actually running Fire over Earth, so he's going to be able to put out a little bit more damage than Olrun. Go ahead and take us away with this Sympol Life team.
All right, looking first here at Schnicky. He's going to be opting for that Dagger Elementalist, running with Rune of Vampirism and Celestial Amulet here. He's going to be taking the Blinding Ashes variant, running with Fire, Water, and Arcane here. Next up, we have Happy Kid, going to be playing on Happy Mime, just to try to make things confusing, as always, with this team. But he's going to be opting for that Staff Greatsword. He's going to be playing Rune of the Pack and Berserker Amulet for that double range shatter. He's going to be playing with Inspiration, Dueling, and Domination here for his build. Next up, we do have Mime, I believe, going to be running the exact same build here, running with that double range shatter as well with Greatsword and Staff. Rune of the Pack and Berserker Amulet here. He's going to be opting for Domination, Dueling, and Inspiration as well. Next up, we do have Kodo. Kodo is going to be doing the exact same thing as Schnicky also. So we have 2 sets of doubles here. We're running with the Dagger Elementalist on Kodo here. Going to be taking Rune of Vampirism, Celestial Amulet, and the Blinding Ashes variant as well with Fire, Water, and Arcane. And last but not least here, we do have Pingu, who is Sunfish. Just trying to use a different name, it looks like, and he's going to be taking up Staff, Dagger, Warhorn here on the Necromancer, and he's going to be playing Rune of Strength and Celestial Amulet here. He's going to be taking the old Noskok favorite here, Spite, Curses, and Soul Reaping for his setup.
Yeah, I do want to point out the big damage is running Guardian, but it's still, I think we had this issue last week. It's showing him as a Necromancer, so not too sure what's going on with these icons over here, but he is definitely going to be playing that Guardian for his team, putting out a lot of burst steals. But this is definitely a Radioactive team we've seen in previous weeks. They're running with Olrun now, at least for the time being. They have been for the past few weeks. And the Sympol Life, I think this is kind of a newer team. Obviously, we know the players, but we haven't seen them all together as a 5-man group, I don't think, in recent weeks. So what are your thoughts on them coming into this against Radioactive, who have been, pretty good over the last few weeks?
I mean, you could pretty much say a similar thing to this other team. I mean, I think they actually did play last week, and they did pretty well against the Abjured. I think they actually, I think it was one of the games last week where they kind of threw it. But yeah, I mean, like, both teams are really solid. It's definitely going to be interesting. I believe that Sunfish, aka Pingu, is going to be opting for this Necromancer, but if things don't go well, then he has a couple of things at his disposal that he ran 2 weeks ago that he could potentially bring up that actually did shut down this other Radioactive team, if we remember, with that Burn Guardian, and if it has to come out, it'll come out, you know, so definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely so. So we do have this first game underway in the round of 8 that's going to be Radioactive up against the Sympol Life. Let's take a look at the opening splits for both these teams. It looks like we're going to see some crossers coming out from both of them. 4 members of Radioactive looking to come out of their gate. And we do have a couple members, looks like Kodo and Mime going to be coming around out. And they're not even going to be stealthed up. Neither team going to be stealthed up, obviously. Not a whole lot of stealth coming out from either team. But Radioactive still going to be pushing forward here. Sending 3 members over to this henge node. Going to be sending a 1-1-3 split for themselves. And it looks like a 2-2 or 1-3-1 split coming out for the blue team here. What do we have going on?
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to let red team get their home node here. They're going to opt to go straight to mid, just try to win that out. It looks like we're going to be seeing Olrun try to tank that out for his team, but I'm not sure how long that's actually going to last. Looks like he already kind of has to peel out as both Mesmers put down a little bit of pressure, but we are going to be seeing big damage as well as Sir Crisis kind of rolling in off the top side here, and they're going to be entering the fight very, very shortly, and it's Schnicky on point, so looks like big damage is going to opt to try to get some support onto the node with Sir Crisis kind of rolling around looking for Mime right now. It looks like trying to get something done. Looks like Mime opting to get some big damage onto big damage.
Oh, the Rampage though from Crisis. Rampage coming out from Crisis, so I want to point that out. He's trying to stick on top of Schnicky. Schnicky looks to be okay for the time being. Doesn't have Lightning Flash to get out behind the keep. Does ride the Lightning out of here. Crisis, oh! The damage coming out for Schnicky trying to stay alive.
Yeah,
will Crisis be able to pick up a kill?
And it looks like he might be able to do that. He's going to be able to get back onto point where he has support from the Mesmers. But in the meantime, we actually saw 2 members go down. We saw Dribs go down due to Pingu getting off a lot of damage from those conditions and kind of killed Dribs as he was trying to roll away. I mean, he was even trying to heal and it wasn't enough there. So he's going to die out, and big damage is going to be in a similar state here. Just going to be bled out. Looks like Koda's going to watch that. But if we look back at the mid fight now,
Ready-Made taken down.
Ready-Made down already. Olren going to try for something, but the damage is just too high on them right now. I mean, this is looking pretty similar to kind of like an Abjured state where it's just total domination across the map. They kind of fumbled a little bit at the very beginning, but I mean, they've been doing a great job in retaking control and kind of handling the map now. It looks like we're going to potentially see a decap here on Hinge, and it does actually happen. Crisis in a 1v1 now with Happy Kid on his Mesmer here, and it looks like actually Happy Kid doing a pretty swell job already, getting him pretty low, and it looks like we're going to be seeing 2 more people, Dribs as well as Big Damage, cycle in and try to get some support for their teammate here, and they do a good job of doing so.
Yeah, coming off a respawn, we got a couple members of Radioactive. We still have a 1v1 going on between Olrun. Olrun actually taken down there at the midpoint. I believe he was actually vapored form there. So there's going to be a big fight over here at the Hinges. Crisis doesn't have cooldowns. Rampage up in about 30 seconds. They should be able to clean up a fight. Maybe they need a fight right now. This, there's going to be a 100-point lead with this 2-cap in just a matter of seconds here. So we're going to see a big push coming out from the Sympol Life over here, and big damage actually taken down Crisis. We do see a time warp coming out as well. Big damage actually stopped Crisis trying to run for his life. So is Ready-Made already getting out of there. Dribs sticking around is going to be taken down by Condi. So I said they should be able to take a fight, but I was definitely wrong. They were all the way over there at the Henge on the complete opposite side of the map. Didn't have any respawns coming. Absolutely annihilated by those Mesmers.
Yeah, in the meantime, we are going to be seeing Ready-Made getting the decap, but not sure if he's going to be able to get the full cap, as we're going to be seeing 3 members of this blue team cycle in. Looks like Schnicky is already in pursuit, and he's going to be able to get on that point before the actual cap goes off. I'm not sure if his teammates are going to be able to get in quickly enough to really put down some good help for him, but it looks like Mime is already going to try to get some damage out onto Sir Crisis, but we're actually going to be seeing Schnicky as well as Commander Quaggan go down. It looks like they were able to knock off Sir Crisis.
The Rampage.
That Rampage for him. And it looks like they're gonna get him. They're gonna get Schnicky right on out of there, so he's gonna be able to self-res over on this Henge node while he protects it a little bit. But back on this mid fight, we're going to be seeing actually a lot of damage being dropped onto Ready-Made. It looks like he's going to be forced to peel out, as he doesn't have too many defensive options at his disposal anymore, aside from that misform. So if they put down some burst damage, he's only got that for himself.
He's got
and it looks
misform.
like he's being dropped. The misform is out. So if they follow up, he's completely
dead.
gone.
Oh, he's got Ethereal, but he does get interrupted. Oh, he's taken down there. Crisis, though, or excuse me, the big damage coming in for the res. Good fears coming out there from Pingu. Be able to make sure he doesn't get that res. So Ready-Made going to be fully killed. So is the big damage. Now they've got 2 elementalists sitting around over near that mine point, not wanting to give it up, need to wait for respawns. We did see Crisis just take that spawner kill, able to get 25 points for his team, make it look a little better, but they are definitely down over 100 points right now with the 2-cap. Things looking really, really good right here for the Sympol Life.
Yeah, they're doing absolutely fantastic job at the moment. I mean, this composition is really catering to them. I mean, it has so much damage. The Blinding Ashes variants of this DD build just puts out so much burning. It has so much pressure that it can put out while also not losing any of its sustain for the most part. I mean, it's just so strong. They're still running that that triple Selly comp just as Abjured is right now. I mean, it's still kind of going back to the fact that you can still build to sustain and still have a lot of pressure to come out as well, while still having both of these Mespers just blowing people up on the sidelines, and they're doing that just now. Actually, we can see Sir Crisis about to drop here, and he's so low. Looks like Big
Oh,
Damage
good Connie clears
heal
though.
up on him, though.
That was great heals in Connie clear. Coming out from the big damage, getting Crisis up to about 100% HP there. As a Rampage up once again in about 15 seconds. Like you said, Schnicky, that 100 Blades combo coming out from Crisis, absolutely making it no chance whatsoever for the Sympol able to get that res. They're just going to piece on out of here. That's probably the best move right now. We already have Commander Quaggan who FGS out of here. Lightning flashes up to that point. Should be able to get the decap. I don't think the mobility is out here for the rest of the Sympol life right now. We don't have a lightning flash for Kodo, so he should be able to he did get that decap. That's a pretty good push for Radioactive trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, and with blue team kind of cycling back onto that point, it looks like Commander Quaggan's going to be able to kind of tank them out a little bit. Kodo going to be trying to apply some pressure. It looks like they're going to opt to just kind of portal out. Pingu's the last one there. Not sure if he's going to make it to the portal. And it looks like he does. He does make it to the portal, so they're going to be able to go back to that.
Great rotation.
That mine point. That was an awesome rotation for sure. They still have Mime and Schnicky kind of covering the hinge node. Looks like we're going to be seeing 3 members of the red team, 4 members of the red. Oh no, 3. 3 is what they decide to send towards the henge, so this will be a 3v2 situation. Not sure how long they're going to be able to stick around here, but they should be able to win this mine node fight.
I mean, they got 2 elementalists over here at the mine point, and Dribs and Ready Made should be able to stay alive for a bit, but look who's over there. Happy Kid, and I believe Mime's over there. No, it's just, okay, Kodo, okay, they do get the cap there. That's a pretty good pickup, so Ready Made and Drib's actually going to piece out of there. That's probably a good rotation. They don't want to fight on that point, especially since they got the decap over at the henge, so they're going to fight on mid at henge, try and clean up that fight, take a 2 cap. It's not too late in the game to win just from the 2 cap.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing the next fight over on this keep node, where we're already seeing a 1v1 between Commander Quaggan and Mime here. It looks like we are going to be seeing members of both teams cycle in. Commander Quaggan already so low, doesn't have any cantrips left, so he has to peel out right now or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Looks like he is going to manage to get off that Ride the Lightning, get on out of there. It looks like there's going to be no follow-up as well, so keep fight for the meantime looks pretty solid for this blue team if they can take out Dribs pretty quickly as well, and he is extremely low, forced to pull out here, and it does do so indeed. However, he tries to come back. I'm not sure why he did that. He tries to come back and just gets obliterated there by Mime. So he's down on point. Ready Made trying to get something going for himself.
No way that's happening.
The pressure that's coming out from Dingo as well as these Mesmers here.
Well, the big damage is coming in too.
Much.
He should be able to get a lot of heals onto it. Looks like Ready Made. Ready Made gets a decent amount of heals. They're still holding the point as Quaggan's there. 4v3 here at the midpoint as Dribs was taken out. Like I said, oh, the damage is coming out there. Ready Made getting super low. Has that the renewal left? No stab on this one. He needs to be careful. He does get the full chain heal off there, so that's going to be channel, excuse me, able to stay alive for a little bit longer, getting pretty low. So much damage from these Mesmers right here, but they're trying to come back into this one, holding this 2 cap, and the decap off the respawn coming out from Dribs. Pretty good pickup.
Yeah, this is some insane damage. Happy Kid also taking out big damage there, so both sustained members of this red team are already down on this node. Looks like Pingu going to go ahead and get that stomp, so he's going to go ahead and get that cap as well, so they're going to have both things decapped. We actually saw Dribs get the decap and the full cap over here on mine. Looking back on hinge, however, Schnicky's been able to hold a 1v2 for quite some time here.
Oh, Schnicky actually took down Crisis right there. Orun ran in, got the res at the last second before the stab stomp came out. So really good res coming out there from Orun, able to make sure they hold on to that point.
We're actually going to be seeing the 1v1 between Crisis and Chieftain, and Chieftain's winning right now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to sustain the whole thing. He might actually do it.
Oh, God. Oh, Crisis.
Pretty close. If
oh, Crisis, 300
he's
health.
probably going to go down.
I don't know. He has Endure. He pops Endure Pain for it. He should be able to get the kill, but Mime's coming in. Mime steals the kill from Crisis right there with the auto attack, I believe that was from his greatsword. Crisis has to be furious about that one. But over here at the henge, a little bit of pressure come down onto Dribs. We do see the big damage able to sustain him for quite some time. Blue team able to get that cap at the henge point. Still a decap node at mid right now. Only about 100 points left for the Sympol life to take this win.
Yeah, looking over at the midpoint, we are going to be seeing Crisis downstated after the follow-up from that Chieftain takedown, so he's going to be bled out, not in a good position at all here. And we're going to be also seeing ready-made forced off node, so Mime's going to get this decap and go for the full cap here. Might actually have enough time to do so because he does have Pingu supporting here, but Ulrun is going to cycle in and he's going to go ahead and try to get some cap points towards this node right here. And they're going to finish off Sir Crisis, who tried to get a res from his teammate there, ready-made, but we're also going to be seeing dribs down over on the mine point, so blue team once again establishing some dominance here and getting some momentum as they go back into the mid-fight once Kodo gets this full cap over here on the mine.
Yeah, definitely so. So they're able to get that 2 cap, hold on to this decap at mid for quite some time, no doubt whatsoever. 3 members of Radioactive down. Ready-made being looking to take him out next. Should be okay for the time being. Doesn't have any cantrips left, but blue team only about 50 points away with that 2 cap from winning this game. I'm thinking Radioactive probably just, trying to think of what they're going to do in the next game that they can do better from this one. It felt like right out of the start, right out of the gate, they just lost every fight and gave a huge lead to the Sympol Life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the team fights handedly in favor of this blue team here, doing so well in them. And next map, obviously, pretty famously, one of Radioactive's worst map. They've not done so well on them since the patch, and I honestly think that this will probably go 2-0 in favor of this blue team if things stay this way. I mean, the team fights have been so decidedly in favor of this blue team. They've been doing such a great job. The damage that they're able to put out with this competition while also being able to sustain each other is just insane.
Yeah, it really is. They've done a great job. Happy Kid and Mime on top. People able to spike them down. But there we have it. The win number 1 coming out for the Sympol Life, taking down Radioactive in that first match. We'll have to see if Radioactive's able to come back in the next one and take that one, moving on to a game number 3. We've seen a lot of game number 3s in the last couple weeks. I really wouldn't be surprised.
We'll have to see what happens going into the next match, and that will be Legacy of the Faux Fire once again. This is probably one of my favorite maps, but
aside from Temple, of course.
Something to take note of though is that a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago actually, if I remember correctly, the Lord was buffed in terms of its HP, and
yes.
So that's something to take to kind of make sure that you guys note that if someone does go for that Lord Rush, it's a little bit harder to kill now, even with the increased damage. It has a lot more HP, so it can sustain a little bit longer. Still definitely able to take it out with 2 to 3 people easily. You can even take it out with 1 if you do it right. But it is something to kind of be aware of going into this match for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, just looking at these 2 teams right here and what they're bringing, I'm really thinking that after that first game, the Sympol Life will take the set, but I really think Radioactive is going to take the second game, possibly learning from their mistakes in that first one, having a bad split overall, and just they lost all 3 fights in that match. I believe they got 3 capped, if I'm not mistaken. No, they didn't get. I believe the mid node was actually decapped for a while, but still, they lost all 3 fights. Obviously, we'll have to see what adjustments they're going to make in this one. I'm picking them to take the second game, but the Sympol Life looking so strong, like you said, with the damage coming out from Mime and Happy Kid. Those 2 are definitely on par with each other. Taking names left and right in this series, for that matter. So
looks like we're just waiting on both teams to ready up, and once they do, we will be underway. But what do you think about this composition running that double Mesmer and still having that triple Selly threat while also having some good sustain? I mean, I think it's definitely a very interesting option. I mean, for the most part, the exact same setup as the Abjured, swapping out the double Mesmer for a Thief and an NG in favor of the Abjured there. But I think this is honestly working pretty well right now.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they're doing, like, Kodo and Sticky are both running Fire. Neither of them are running Earth. And, if I were making a comp, I would definitely put one on Earth, but they've got that much more damage with both of them on Fire, and they're really doing a great job of still holding on to the points with having Fire. It's not the biggest of differences, but it definitely is if you have Stone Heart for that. So, I mean, what are you thinking? Would you take Earth if this was your comp? Would you have one of them take Earth?
I think it depends a lot. If you have a player like Ulrun who's playing Commander Quaggan over here, if you have a player like that on your team, I would definitely throw him on Earth. He definitely his playstyle caters to that sort of thing. But when you're talking about players like Shinicky and Kodo, I definitely see them, having a higher potential on the builds that they're currently running with, which is that Blinding Ashes variant. They're going to be able to handle the 1v1s a little bit better. They're going to be able to kind of cycle around and do some more damage. They don't typically hold 1v1s as often as you'll see a player like Ulrun doing it. So with their particular setup, with the players that they have, I think that that's a smarter option for them. But it really just depends on the player you have playing that role. And just before this round starts, I just want to reiterate to everyone, we will be doing a gem giveaway after this this round, so make sure you stick around.
Yeah, definitely. So we got 3 of them today, but we do have game number 2 underway here. Let's take a look at what we've got for the opening splits. Both these teams, see if we have any differences coming out from either of them as opposed to Force of Niflhelt. Looks like the big damage a little slow to come out of the gate there. He should be okay. So they're going to be doing at least sending 2 people to their home point for both teams here. We're going to see a 3-point push, though, coming out for both teams once again. We saw this in the last match.
Yeah, definitely an interesting setup here with Crisis getting away from big damage, which is like kind of what they've been playing for, big damage kind of rolling around with Sir Crisis, but looks like that will not be the case as Kodo is going to enter a 2v1 with Sir Crisis and Dribs. There we're going to see a 1v1 between Schnicky and Readymade, and a 2v2 here between Happy Kid and Pingu versus Commander Quaggan and big damage. Looks like we're going to be also seeing Mime cycle in towards the quarry node, but already not looking too good for Kodo. He's forced to peel out, and the Rampage is just falling up, so he's probably going to go down.
Oh, he does take him, yeah.
Indeed.
He's going to go quick, get to stop, try to get it there. Oh, the portal, though. That was a great portal. Kind of expected that to come. They should be able to get their res. Yes, Mime able to get that res. Going right back through the portal. Able to get on there before the decap actually happens. Pretty good play coming out there from Mime.
Yeah, looking over at this hinge node, we're actually seeing a couple of, like, it's pretty much been stalemated fights here. We actually saw a Big Bomb come out onto big damage, but he is able to kind of absorb most of that, get off his renewed focus, and peel a little bit of it off. Looks like Pingu taking a little bit of heat as well, but you know, for the most part, if we swap over to Quarry here, we're actually seeing most of the damage being brought down on Mime. Mime trying to take out Dribs here, but, you know, Sir Crisis was able to come over and provide some support, get some damage down, and it looks like he's kind of the one that needs to be watching himself now. Sir Crisis got the Defy paying off, so after that rolls off, they're going to be probably trying to bomb him instantly here. Dribs not able to get too much support out, and he's going to be peeling right on out. Looks like blue team going to secure this quarry node in just a matter of time.
Yeah, Dribs needs to be careful here as lightning flash up. Cleansing water wave is coming up in just a second here. He should be okay to stick around on this point before it gets fully capped. Crisis is going to come back in here. He is Rampage up, not for another 45 seconds, so needs to be careful as well. Let's see who their target is. Looks like it's going to be Kodo, but I do want to point out, over at the waterfall, we saw the big damage taken down, so he's going to be off respawn. We're probably going to see this blue team, the Sympol Life, take that node for themselves. Dribs, though, taken down. So is Crisis getting super low. Oh, they both go down. This could be another wipe.
Members out, and they're still spread, so we're going to see blue team taking both of these side nodes and converging onto Readymade, who is just trying to stay alive for a little bit longer, but
oh, wow.
As well as Happy Kid here, already putting down so much damage pressure onto Readymade. You can just see the double purple lasers just ripping him into shreds right now.
My God, he's staying alive.
Towards waterfall, big damage cycling in now as well. We are going to see a portal come down from Happy Kid. I think he's going to opt to go back over to the waterfall to provide some support there, as we are going to see Ulrun still on that point, trying to make sure it doesn't get capped. But in the meantime, Quarry still capped. Looks like Kodo does see Crisis here, and he's going to try to get a 1v1 with Sir Crisis onto this quarry node that they do already have capped out, and Crisis does have Rampage, so that's something to be very aware of, because he can definitely 1v1 Kodo here if he pops that out.
He doesn't even need the Rampage to do that necessarily. Kodo's doing a great job of keeping the CC up on Crisis, so he can't do a whole lot of damage. Lands the Eviscerate! 8k Eviscerate, almost
and goes
killing.
Straight through the weakness,
yeah.
too. The luck there is just unreal.
Oh, that was crazy. But the 2-cap coming out over at the waterfall, it looked like Ulrun actually died there, gave up the cap there. So they're going to be holding on to a 2-cap. This is kind of what we saw in the last game as well. We saw it was much quicker, though, on the side of the Sympol Life. But even so, they had the 2-cap right away. Oh, that rush coming out there. Crisis kills Kodo with the auto attacks there from the Greatsword, able to make sure they get the decap over at the quarry. Meanwhile, over at the waterfall, Readymade gets the decap, so they're able to newt both of those points. That's good pickups, as they really don't want to get behind on Legacy.
Yeah, it looks like big damage cycling out, trying to get some support over towards the waterfall as well. If he goes over with Readymade, that's going to be one tough duo to take down, so they need to make sure they take him out in the meantime. And they do manage to do that. Looks like they push Readymade off as well, so they're going to be able to secure that stomp. Happy Kid able to secure that there. Readymade is still on point. They do have the double cap in favor of that red team there. Pingu going to try to get something going. Looks like most of the team is going to pull off, though, and try to get something onto this graveyard where it's Ulrun and Dribs trying to stay alive. So Crisis is going to come with the Rampage here, and he's going to go all over Schnicky. Schnicky in some trouble here. It looks like he's at about 80% health, but if he can't get away from him,
we saw the Time Warps coming out there. I believe that Mime just brought out the Time Warp there just to try and see what they could do. A little bit more damage onto Crisis, but Crisis, you know, he's so tanky in that Rampage form. He is pretty low here, so Crisis, actually got a few heals, if I'm not mistaken. Quagging getting pretty low as well, needs to be careful. So, you know, Radioactive doing a great job holding on this decap. Oh, there's the full cap. A little bit of miscommunication, no doubt, coming out from Radioactive, giving up that full cap. That's okay. They can hold on to the sides right now. I don't think they need to play that third node.
Yeah, and that's actually a great example of making a Rampage fail right there. Putting down that slow debuff is just really devastating to that Rampage. He's not able to get the full rushes off and really kind of collapse on certain targets, and because of that he was only able to get a couple hits on Schnicky, but never anything fatal. So great job there from the blue team being able to shut that down.
Yeah, we do see a 2v2 evolving over here, 3v2 actually in favor of Radioactive over at the waterfall. Looks like Pengu and Mime, Happy Kid, excuse me, who was up against Crisis, who's just kind of running away from him. Pengu's going to leave as well. Olrun kind of forcing him out of here, so that's a pretty good fight, favorable in Radioactive here. But over at the core, we did see the decap coming out. The big damage and Dribs up against Mime, and it looks like Kodo. You know, the decap came out. That's pretty good for the Sympol Life, trying to make sure they don't get too big of a lead. The big damage, though, spiked down by Mime, who didn't even seem to do a whole lot, but just, you know, had a lot of interrupts there, able to make sure he got them at the right times, able to clean up that fight and take it for their own.
Yeah, both of those Mesmers roaming together is just absolutely devastating. The damage that they can put out, the CC even that they can put out is just insane. They have a decent amount of support for each other as well, running that inspiration tree, so they have a little bit of sustain going for themselves as well. I mean, it's just really, really strong right now. If we look right here, we can actually see Sir Crisis getting pretty low as well. Looks like he's trying to take out Pingu, but Pingu doing a pretty good job of actually getting away with that Necromancer build, trying to put some damage down behind him as well. Commander Quaggan on note here. We are going to see that 2-cap in favor of the blue team in the meantime, so they're going to be
look at the regroup.
Here.
Look at this regroup from Radioactive. Look at the positioning right now. They're trying to make a good split right here. We are going to see Crisis use his mobility and go the long way over to the quarry, but we are going to see Kodo knows it's coming. They know something's coming over to this quarry, so we'll have to see if he's able to take that.
Kodo wants that revenge.
But Pengu or Mime, they're close by. They could get here, and if he does get in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, as long as they hold them over towards the waterfall side, especially with Dribs already low here, then they're going to be in a really good position. And it looks like Dribs actually doesn't have any of his real survivor cantrips actually out left, so he's going to be in a lot of trouble, as it looks like blue team is going to follow him up. So he's going to be out here. Looks like Ready Made trying to get some support, and because of this, they're going to be able to hold them exactly where they want to. But if we look, we're actually going to be seeing Kodo dropped already by Crisis.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little bit of health from the big damage, but still, Crisis doing what he needs to there. We are going to see Ready Made plus this as well. So right now, I think Radioactive's biggest concern is holding onto the sides right here. Mess with mid a little if you want to, but clean up Mime over here at the quarry. Make sure you have the numbers advantage. Good portal coming out from Mime. Going to get some support maybe from Schnicky, who is looking to actually get on point before they actually get that full cap.
Not
so
sure
Schnicky,
does actually manage it one tick away.
I'm not so sure why he's here right now, because the burst damage that could come out from Crisis could just absolutely annihilate him, eliminate him from the map for, you know, a good 30 seconds.
Yeah,
he's going to get help from Mime, though, so making that a 2v2.
They're going to opt for that 2v2, and it's already looking pretty decent, honestly. I mean, Sir Crisis is fairly low here. Big damage at about 50% as well, and he's just basically taking just
Kodo come up for respawn, too.
Random AoE, and it looks like Mime opting to actually get some burst down onto big damage, and he has no answers for anything right now. So if they take any pressure and put down on big damage, he's going to be going right down. He only has stability left in his repertoire here. We're actually be seeing Crisis take a lot of heat as well. So they're so low already here. With
Quaggan coming into this.
He's doing such a great job, as well as Kodo here, putting down a lot of DPS on them. Looks like big damage taking a lot of heat as well. Able to be dropped, actually. Crisis going to be dropped as well. Commander Quaggan, the only one left here.
He's getting caught in
they're going to follow up on him as well. So that's 2 down for this red team, and they're going to be able to get some momentum going for themselves once again. So this is another opportunity for them to get something going, but if they're going to be able to maintain it is the biggest question.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a late rotation. I think Quaggan came a little late to that fight. If he was on respawn, they should have sent someone from the waterfall. Would have been there much faster, I think, just because of the fact that was a 3v2 for quite some time, and I'm sure Radioactive could have expected. It's a decap node. There's no reason for them not to fight there, so they could have expected numbers advantage in favor of the blue team, at least coming within a few seconds there, and Kodo did, so they were able to mop up that 2v3. So the 2-cap still, once again, in favor of the Sympol life, but really, no one seemingly having the upper hand in this game. Just a little small lead for the blue team.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty well in the team fights, but obviously with Sir Crisis being able to just go into Rampage and drop anyone with 2 or 3 hits, that's really been kind of keeping this red team in the game. Looks like Schnicky is going to be taken out by that 2-hit pressure from the Rampage, as Sir Crisis also cycles in towards the mid-fight, still has a little bit of time left.
Trying to stop that res.
Stop that res, yeah, with Mime. but he's going to run out of time with that Rampage, and this is pretty much the time where blue team dominates. That's really been what it's about. I mean, during the Rampage, red team does pretty well. Outside of the Rampage, blue team just pretty much dominates most of these team
It feels like they've had some poor rotations on the side of Radioactive this game. Finally, we are going to see Dribs plus this fight over at the quarry, knowing Readymade can hold his own for quite some time, especially in a 1v2 over at the waterfall. Doesn't need a whole lot of help, so they should be able to give the numbers advantage to themselves over at the quarry for the time being. You know, there's not a huge lead for the blue team, but we'll have to see if they're going to be able to clean up this fight. If Radioactive takes this, they're going to be back into this game once again. Crisis, though, kind of off point, trying to do what he can against it. Looks like that's Mime trying to stay alive, just using that terrain to his advantage that Crisis seemingly can't get up to. Lands that eviscerate, but still.
Stops the eviscerate with the daze mantra, saves him there, but not able to save him from the arcing slice there. Almost gets taken out, but Mime doing a great job. Just basically been stuck in corners and in crevices and little alleyways, and he's been able to stay alive this long.
Oh, the auto attack gets stuck in the cart. He got stuck in the cart right there. That's very unfortunate. Look, we do see I think we're going to see a Lord Rush coming out for these guys, or at least an odd rotation. Looks like they're going for the door. So we are going to see a Lord Rush. The door already pretty low, about 25% HP right here. We're going to definitely see this happen. No portal out, though, from Mime. So we're not going to see a portal play Lord Rush. We are going to see the big damage already make his way back. They shouldn't be in a whole lot of trouble, but nonetheless, this is going to be a Lord Rush. If they're able to stop this, I think we could see Radioactive take this game number 2.
The biggest question is if they're going to be able to take out that buffed Lord with just 2 people, one of them being a Mesmer. Granted, the only real range skill that he has to worry about is unblockable, so he can go straight into that.
He's already 50% HP too, but you know the big damage is going to come in here.
The damage is here, and the heals that this guy can put out are
with Readymade. Yeah, with Readymade, they're 2 biggest support classes. I think Readymade's going to be able. They should be able to keep him alive. Kono getting pretty low here. Mine was pretty low, so they've got to be careful. They haven't even killed many of the NPCs. It's just a train coming through here. Gonna try and take down Kono. Kono does get hit there, but I believe the Shield of Wrath did take him out. So there is the stomp onto him. We're gonna have to see if we're gonna have a regroup from either of these teams. You know, only about a 30-point lead in favor of the Sympol Life.
Honestly, I think if Pingu had stayed around and taken out Crisis, I think it still would have been a big victory, and I think you could have kind of potentially said, you know, maybe they meant to do this, because the biggest thing is that they still have that cap on Graveyard. They pulled they pulled everyone but Olrun into the base, and they still had 2 people out. They won the double cap there onto Quarry Node and Graveyard. I mean, potentially this was actually good for them, even though they're still just kind of lazily just. Oh,
they're sending 4 people in now. They've got 4 people coming. Crisis on the other side of the map, not sure where he's going. He's going for a Lord Rush himself.
Necromancer.
Oh dear, I'm not so sure they're going to be able to hold this off.
This is the Lord Rush that will take it out for sure.
Yeah, with that Time Warp coming out, they're 75% HP. There's no way they're going to be able to stop this one. I don't think it's going to happen. Look at the con he's ticking on him.
He is going to try
10%
to get
HP,
going,
nope.
But it's just not happening. Red Lord is going to be taken out in just a matter of time.
There we have it.
569 to 371. Blue team takes it 2-0 over this Radioactive squad.
Yeah, we saw the Lord actually start over here for Crisis, but he was a little late to the party, a little bit later than the the Sympol Life team.
Yeah, definitely a good rotation there. I mean, even if they decided not to go for that, I think it still would have been a victory for them. I mean, pulling the entire red team into the keep with still having a numbers advantage outside and holding them in the keep for quite some time. They were able to get that 2 cap. They could have potentially just pulled back and held that as well, but opted instead, since they had 4 deep already on the far point, you know, especially with 2 of them being a Mesmer, and we also had Pingu on that Celestial Necru. I mean, definitely a favorable position for them to be in terms of going back into that Lord and actually taking it out like they did.
Yeah, definitely so. That was a good rotation after that first failed Lord Rush, and then we saw them all come back in as a force. Crisis was trying to make his way all the way to hit their other Lord, but he was all the way at midpoint, was not even close to taking him down. I believe he was with Dribs at that point in time. Just not enough support, not enough Condy clear coming out for the 3 remaining members of Radioactive at the Lord. So congrats to the Sympol Life. They're going to be moving on into the semifinals, eliminating Radioactive from this tournament. I do want to point out, guys, we do have a gem giveaway thanks to Wilco, so I'm not exactly sure how we want to go about doing this. Do you have any insight on this here?
I think we're just gonna have everybody make sure that you pay attention to the chat during the
break. I've got it. Looks like we are gonna do this over the break, and we are to pick something out. What do you want to pick out, Heurix? What do we want people to say to us today, huh?
I'm going for Rubik's Cube, dude. As
Rubik's
always,
Cube?
Rubik's Cube
all right.
Is what we're gonna use for sure.
Go ahead and type Rubik's Cube into the Twitch chat if you want to be entered into that 800 gem code giveaway. And we will have 2 more of those later on today. I believe we'll be picking the winner as we come back from the break. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to the North American Go4GW2 Cup number 38. I'm Storm, and with me is Heurix once again. As we did have our gem giveaway, I believe Chomp Stomp was the winner, so congratulations to him. Don't go away for those, because we do have 2 more gem giveaways later on this evening. But first, we do have our next matchup that's going to be Looking Like a Cutie, a team that we saw last week up against the Sympol Life, the team that we just saw take out Radioactive. Now this should be a good matchup. Am I right, Heurix?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I thought last game was a good matchup, but this one's going to be even better, definitely more cutthroat. Both of these rosters extremely solid. QT actually been doing very, very well for themselves lately. Kind of a new team that they set up. I believe they've only been really playing together for maybe 2 weeks, if that. But they've already kind of made a name for themselves in the scene, putting some stuff together. Vayne coming back to the game and playing pretty seriously. Yeah, it's definitely 2 solid rosters and definitely a game to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for both these teams. As we have both joined up, we have Cutie over here on the red, and we have the Sympol Life once again over at the blue. Take us away with Looking Like a Cutie.
All right, Looking Like a Cutie, we're going to have Vayne up first. One of the oldest members of esports community here. He's going to be taking Dagger Elementalist here with Rear the Holbrack and Celestial Amulet. He's going to be taking Fire, Water, and Arcane, taking that Blinding Ashes variant we've seen a lot of already. Next up, we do have Ken Slurpa, aka Kensuda. He's going to be taking Guardian here. Definitely going to be playing the support role that he's kind of known for, at least in the past for sure. And he's going to be taking Staff, Mace, Shield here instead of that focus. And he's going to be taking Rear the Soldier and his Cleric Amulet with Valor, Honor, and Virtue. So the typical support guard he's going to be taking up. 4 shots here, opting for that Sanctuary over that last utility shot there. Next up, we do have the QT Burnt Taco H-Man Burn himself. He's going to be taking up Dagger Elementalist as well. Rune of the Holbrack and Celestial Amulet here. He's going to be taking Blinding Ashes as well with Fire, Water, and Arcane. Next, we do have Heurix. He's going to be taking Dagger Pistol Thief with Rune of the Vampirism. And Marauder Amulet here, of course, going to be taking Deadly Arts, Shadow Arts, and Trickery. And that res and stealth is just absolutely insane from that Shadow Arts. So he's actually going to be opting for that Infiltrator Signet instead of the Blinding Powder. So definitely look to see him jumping all over targets in this game, and definitely sticking with Zeromus here, who is up next, who is going to be taking double range shatter rather, with Greatsword Staff, and taking Rune of the Pack with Domination, Dueling, and Inspiration. So very similar, if not the exact same build that we saw earlier from both of these Mespers on this blue team. Why don't we take a look at that blue team there?
Yeah, actually, I do want to point out, we did see Zeromus last week, who was running Chaos over, I believe it was Inspiration, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly. I know he was running Chaos, but I have talked to him, and he has moved back to the normal setup, thinking that brings a little bit more heals to the team and more damage with running the double mantra. So definitely back on that instead of running Chaos like he did last week. But taking a look at this blue team, that would be the Sympol Life. We've got Schnicky sticking to DDLE with the Strength Runes, sticking with the Blinding Ashes and Fire. Nothing swapped. He didn't change anything up from the last match, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, Mine, sticking with the Greatsword Staff, Pack Rune, Zerker Amulet, Domination, Dueling, and Inspiration for himself. Kodo playing the second DDLE for this team. Going to be running the exact same thing as Schnicky, if I'm not mistaken, with the Fire, Water, and Arcane. Happy Mime, that's going to be Happy Kid. Going to be running the same thing, at least very close to that of mine, with the Great Sword Staff. Pack Rune, Zerker Amulet, running Inspiration, Dueling, and Domination. And finally, Pingu, that's going to be Sunfish, sticking to that Selly Necro build that we saw. He's going to be running Staff, Dagger Warhorn with Strength Runes, and he's going to be running Spite, Curses, and Soul Reaping for himself with the triple Signets. So looking at these 2 teams, we saw obviously the Sympol Life in the last set, and now we're looking like a cutie. What are your thoughts for this game? Who do you think is going to take the set?
This one I think is probably going to be a little bit closer than the last. Both of these rosters are extremely strong. Looks like we're going to need 1 minute real quick, as Heurix needs to take a quick 1 minute break here. But we will have this game started up in just a minute. But, you know, like I was saying, I mean, these rosters are insanely strong, and both of these teams are, in my opinion, pretty evenly matched. I mean, we're going to see a little bit more support coming from the side of this red team, but I mean, blue team coming with all the damage in the world. I mean, Schnicky and Kodo still taking the damage variant of their Selly builds there with Blinding Ashes, and even though Vayne and H-Man are doing the same thing, we're also going to be seeing the double range shatter from Mime and Happy Kid as well, with Pingu being able to kind of bring a lot of pressure as well, being able to convert the conditions that Vayne and H-Man are going to be putting down. I mean, it's going to be definitely extremely interesting, and if Pingu can kind of rotate into wherever those Mesmers are, especially if those Mesmers double up, I think that it's going to be pretty devastating to the red team, but it's really going to come down to probably about halfway in what team decides that.
Really quick though, really quick. Who are you picking for this set? I need a name. Cutie or Sympol Life?
I'm gonna roll the dice and just go blue team, and it's literally I have no reasoning for that at all.
Looks like Ken is semi-AFK in his base right now. They haven't called anything, so taking a look at the opening splits, Ken is going to be moving out now. They haven't called. They're not calling for a reset or anything. It's not like it was a huge amount of time wasted or anything for that matter. Only 10, 15 seconds here. But it's going to be a 1-3-1 split coming out for the blue team. We're going to see Cutie opt in for that 2-point split, so they're going to have a numbers advantage for just a minute. Assuming Ken can get there in time, but actually not really much of a numbers advantage because Ken was in the base.
Watch the mid node here. We're going to be seeing Zeromus and Heurix taking the target pretty shortly here. It looks like they opted for Mime, but Mime, Mime able to accept a little bit of it there, and actually turns it onto Zeromus. Zeromus is down here already in Mime. So good at being able to just
We saw double time warp come out from the both of them there. Double time warp there. It doesn't double the amount, but it doubles the amount of time, but doesn't double the quickness and whatnot, unfortunately. So able to delete Zeromus there. It looked like we were going to see a huge burst coming out from Heurix and Zeromus onto Mime like we did a little bit, but just a really good counterplay coming out from Mime and Happy Kid.
Yeah, that just absolutely deleted Zeromus. We're actually going to be seeing H-Man down as well. So already blue team with 30-point lead advantage here, has the hinge node capped, has the keep capped. They are going to kill out H-Man, and they are going to look to probably take out Heurix next if they possibly can, but they're definitely going to be shifting the fight over towards the red base here and just kind of keeping them over there for as long as possible while they hold this 2-cap in their favor with 55-point advantage already.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to see Vayne finally force the blue members out of this fight, able to get that cap, the full cap over at the mine point. We're going to see two members of the Sympol Life actually moving over there, trying to contest it, actually getting on top of Heurix, who's actually taken down there. Zeromus not going to be able to do a whole lot for him. The cleave from these Mesmers is ridiculous. Absolutely obliterating him. No chance for a res. I don't think it was going to come out anyways, but there was no way that res would have happened if they even attempted it. So taking out Heurix from this fight, going to have the numbers advantage over here if they decide to move another member over to the mine point. We do see the full cap coming out for Cutie, their first cap of the game, and the rest of the blue team actually opting to push out a little bit.
Yeah, and they're just looking to hold them for as long as possible here. That's their only priority. We're actually going to be seeing Pingu taking a little bit of pressure. Kodo taken down, actually. And it looks like red team swarming all over him, so they might actually be able to get him down. Kodo going to opt to try to pull back. Happy Kid trying to get a res going, but that's definitely not going to happen. And Pingu might actually fall as well. He does not have any health, already has 6 burn stacks on him, and they actually get an immobilized off. So this is probably the end of this Necromancer here, and it does look like that is going to be the case, and he is dropped there, so he is down. We're going to see red team actually finish that person off as well, but they need to get a regroup going for sure and try to stick to this keep node for as long as possible, because they definitely do not want to lose this. And we're actually already seeing H-Man almost dropped. It looks like he actually, they do manage to get a 3v5 kill.
But they're going for the res. Ooh, that was a really good res coming out there. And Zeromus looks to be under a little bit of pressure now. He should be okay for the time being. Happy Kid did come back through that portal here. We did see it looked like Pangu was taken out, obviously. Mime now, or Happy Kid, these names really getting to me. Getting pretty low, doesn't have a whole lot left, has his mantra heal up if he needs to use it, but H-Man going to try and stick on top of him. This 2-cap really reaping benefits right here. Over 100-point lead. Happy Kid, though, taken down. We do see the stomp coming out from Ken. So much cleave damage. They're not going to be able to res him. Get the decap here. And the decap coming out there from Vayne over at the hands. Just a really good pickup.
Yeah, this is potentially where they can definitely make a huge comeback. We're going to be seeing Kinsuda definitely get the full cap here. I don't see Mime trying to double back for that. Looks like he's going to opt to just go over to the far node where Schnicky is in a 1v1 with Heurix here and doing pretty good so far with it. Definitely going to be taking him out with those burn stacks, and that looks like that might be the case, but H-Man does save him in the meantime. The fiery world, though, able to take him out alongside Pingu's staff 4, able to finish him off there. So looks like Heurix is going to be the downstate. H-Man trying to get a res off, but already takes so much pressure. Looks like he's going to try to get some heals going for himself. He's back up at 60% HP, but doesn't have anything left in his repertoire there to kind of get him back up. Schnicky taking a little bit of pressure as well. But if he goes into
I mean,
water
look,
form, which he did just now do, he will be definitely
just
in a
see
lot
the
safer
decap
position.
from Mime over here. Zeromus portal's back, able to get the able to make sure he doesn't get the decap just in time. So he did counter portal that. That was a really good play from Zeromus, making sure they hold on to that point. They really couldn't afford for the decap, but now they're going to give up that decap. Doesn't want to get hurt too much by Happy Kid here. But over at the mine, we still have a huge fight going on. No one clearly having an advantage. We are going to see Schnicky take down, though, as Heurix. Pengu coming in, trying to get the res. Will it be enough? Doesn't have Plague form. Not going to be able to get that one. But Mime coming in for the res as well. Not enough damage. I don't think they're going to be able to keep him down.
Looks like the res will potentially go off, and it does indeed. Schnicky is back up. Heurix is kind of low right now, but does have his heal, so he could be back at full HP if he wants to be. Looks like he is going to opt to do that, and it looks like Pengu now taking a lot of pressure. Definitely going to be taken down in just a matter of time here. He does try to get the Signet off. Actually misses it.
He has his heal up in just a second here, too. Able to get his heal off, trying to stay alive. Good kills coming out from Mime and coming out. H-Man getting pretty low.
Get some more leeching, so he could get something going for himself for sure, but the pressure still is very, very strong, especially with Zeromus in the area and dropping him there alongside Heurix, able to get that backstab and I believe the steal combo there, and they're able to take him right on out. It looks like, however, Heurix had about 40% HP, obviously get out of the fight a little bit, kind of reposition himself with that Signet teleport there. Mime, not in a good spot right here. He definitely needs to kind of double back, but it looks like he's not able to do that in a convenient manner, and he actually gets dropped as well. But looking back over at this mid node here, Kinsuda still just taking it with Happy Kid, just sustaining for so long here, able to kind of just stay up, and that would
Sanctuary really helping him there.
Can come through.
He's not able to get a full shatter combo with that Sanctuary up there, so he's going to get some help from Vayne. Doesn't really make good use of that Churning Earth there. Not exactly sure what he was thinking. So he's going to be in a 1v2 as Happy Kid coming back against, with Kodo, going to try and take out Ken. Doesn't have anything left. Has his heal up in just a second here. Going to be able to, should be okay for the time being. Going to get, looks like help from H-Man, though. Will he be taken out, though? H-Man coming in. He dies off point. That's really going to hurt them in the long run here. It's still being down over 100.
Yeah, it looks like they might actually manage to get this res off, and it does look like that's going to be the case. So he's going to be back on node, and he has most of his cooldowns ready to go once again here. He's going to be able to pop that quickness, get some heals off for himself as well, but now he's back at that stage where he doesn't have Sanctuary for 40 seconds, he doesn't have his heal up for 25, he doesn't have quickness for 15. But with blue team being forced out of this fight, it's definitely going to be good for him. He's going to be able to manage to keep
we've just got a lot of skirmishes going on all around the map. We are going to see Schnicky actually get that decap over there at the... oh my goodness, Heurix using his mobility, able to get there just in time, and Zeromus portal there as well. One tick left on that node, able to hold on to that mine point. There's the decap coming out from Schnicky, though, as both members were forced off of it, as well as it looked like Vayne wasn't able to get there on time. So it's going to be another decap node in favor of the Sympol life. That's pretty good. They're holding the one cap right here, starting to build their lead once again. They did pick up the kill on H-Man at the midpoint. Heurix getting pretty low once again over here at the mine. Needs to be very careful. Vayne going to get that full
Definitely
cap.
A good portal play, though, here from this Sympol life team, and they're able to kind of put everybody into throwing all the damage that they have into Kinsuda and manage to get that 2-cap going for themselves. So looking pretty good for themselves, able to take out H-Man as well as Kinsuda at this mid node and get everybody pulled back over to this mine node, which is exactly where they want them to be. I mean, they really just kind of put some bait on the hook and just left it there, and Red Team basically just full-on took it, and they just went right on out of there. So
the stealth play is coming out here from Zeromus and Heurix. They're looking to make a bush. They have 2 members coming off of a respawn, but they're just going to come back. That's probably the best move because there's 3 members of this blue team sitting here at the midpoint. They don't want to move into a 3v2. So, the blue team, Sympol Life, able to soak up a decent amount of points, holding, making them wait for the respawn there. That was pretty good regroup. Nonetheless, Heurix getting spiked down pretty low. Not a whole lot of damage coming out to anyone on the blue team for that matter.
Like right now, we're going to be seeing Heurix taking a lot of the pressure here, but able to get out of it a little bit. But he's going to be opting to try to get some damage onto Pengu. Gets thrown against the wall here by the Mesmers, but it looks like the Mesmers not really taking a target too definitely at this point. It looks like they're kind of putting some damage innately onto Zeromus, but actually they look to burst Heurix. Heurix kind of pulling out. Kind of lucky to dodge 2 of those huge daze mantras there, though, able to make sure that he stays alive for a little bit longer. Pengu almost taken out there by Heurix, but able to save himself with that clutch going into Death Shroud just at the last second.
Heurix taken down though, and it looks like Happy Kid going in for that quick to stop. Heurix did get the port. They are going in for the rest still. Will they be able to get him? There's a lot of cleave coming out from the blue team. It's just too much with the double mesmers, excuse me. Good updraft coming out there from the elementalists, making sure they do not get that res. We do see it looks like Vayne peeling out, trying to go get that decap. There is an elementalist in pursuit, not going to be able to, get that one for his team. So once again, a really, really good skirmish. I want to say skirmish because that was way off point, and there are multiple fights going on in there. Coming out from the Sympol life, it looks like they're probably going to be taking game number 1 after that one fight.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the nail in the coffin there. They're going to be able to bleed Kinsuda and Zeromus for a hefty portion of the remainder of this match, and by the time they get up and by the time they're able to get repositioned, they're not going to be able to do much of anything here. We're seeing both Mesmers kind of hovering over the mine node. Happy Kid now in a 1v1 with Heurix, but it's just a matter of time until Mime comes over and adds to that. And Mime Happy Kid already doing a pretty good job in that 1v1. So Heurix now going to be down as well, and if there wasn't already nails in the coffin, that was definitely it with Heurix being out. Roma's still waiting to get up. There's a 2 cap. There's no way they're going to be able to get up to that key point. This match is definitely over. It's going to be 500 to 248 as the final score.
Blue team takes a
yes, that is. I believe I fixed my mic. I don't know what's going on with that once again. Sorry about that, guys. But there we have it. We do have Sympol Life taken out. Looking like a cutie in that game number 1. That was definitely not expected. At least that big of a win.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of moments for Red Team to kind of swing the fight into the match into their favor for sure. The problem was that I mean the time that they did have, they didn't capitalize, and they just let it fall right back through. They fell for a pretty obvious bait over there on the mine node, and we saw the portal come out. They went back over to the blue team went back over to mid, finished off H-Man, finished off Kinsuda, and that was pretty much it right there.
Yeah, definitely. So I felt like most of the fights went in favor of the Sympol Life. I don't think Cutie really looked like they had a nice regroup or two, but they really didn't look like a team in the sense of being together at fights. They were just not really sticking on targets. There were skirmishes all over the map, and the skirmishes really were favoring the Sympol Life that game, and it really didn't prove to be, working in Cutie's favor. We'll have to see what they change up for this next map. What are your thoughts on this one here, though?
I mean, blue team definitely looked really solid that matchup, but there was definitely times at which red team just made some mistakes, and I think that was the biggest reason for the score being so heavily in favor of this blue team. I think this match, I think that red team is going to be able to make some adjustments. QT going to be able to kind of adapt a little bit and make sure that they don't make the same mistakes, and I think this match will be a lot closer, but I do believe that blue team is going to take this and move on to the next round.
Yeah, especially after that first game, they didn't really seem to falter whatsoever. I can't imagine they're going to do anything like that in Legacy. Though Radioactive put up a better match than they did on Forest up against these guys. We'll have to see if that's going to be the same case with Looking Like a Cutie. They can move on into the third map here and push it to game number 3. We are just waiting for these guys to go ahead and ready up, though, as we get into this game number 2 in the semifinal matchup. The winner obviously going to be moving on into the finals, which we could probably assume is the Abjured by now. I'll have to see if either of these guys.
Well, the thing is that Abjured only has to face Soak here, so Soak. I do believe Abjured is probably going to take that. I think they're still in their match right now. I believe that's on the off stream, and we're probably going to be seeing the Abjured take that one and go on to the finals. But the winner of this match will go on to the finals to fight the winner of the Abjured versus Soak, and that would definitely be a good match no matter who goes through from either match, really, and definitely looking forward to that one. But for this match, looks like we're almost about ready here to get this started and get it underway. Legacy the Foe Fire is the map. We saw blue team win the last matchup versus Radioactive with a Lord Rush. Going to be interesting to see if they decide to do the same thing this time. They definitely have the DPS for it. They have the burst. They have the interrupts as well to stop that heal coming out from the Lord. But red team, I think, is going to be able to sustain a little bit better. They have a little bit of better rotations, especially with Zeromus on their team there. So it's definitely going to be a harder matchup for them on this map than the last for sure.
Yes, that is definitely true. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for the opening splits for both these teams. See if we're going to see 3-point play coming out from the Sympol like we saw in the last set that they went up against Radioactive. It doesn't look like Cutie though. They're going to be doing something we've seen the Abjured do before. They're not going to be sending anybody to their home point. Going to be playing at Graveyard and the Waterfall. So 1-4 or 0-1-4 push rather coming out for them as they're going to send Vayne to that midpoint. I would not be surprised to see him eliminated, within seconds as long as Mime is there. Looks like he's going to be in a 1v1 against Schnicky, though. And wow, we did just see Happy Kid absolutely obliterated by Heurix and it looked like Zeromus between the 2 points.
Yeah, he landed a huge backstab onto Happy Kid there, Heurix did, as well as Zeromus getting off some pretty solid burst pressure as well. So he's out. This is going to be a 5v4 in favor of the red team QT. Definitely a better start than the last time we're going to be seeing Pingu versus H-Man here, and definitely in favor of Pingu in terms of the actual setup in general here, so potentially could go in favor of this Necromancer, but H-Man does have the setup to kind of sustain this if he decides he must. It looks like
he's going to get plus though by Happy Kid coming out of the respawn, so he needs to get some help immediately, otherwise Happy Kid is going to blow him up. Does no cantrips left after popping his stab there. We are going to see the full cap coming out from the red team over at, looks like Graveyard, if I'm not mistaken. They do get the full cap there despite what the map is saying. So we are going to see numbers advantage going in favor of the blue team over at the Waterfall, though red is, they're coming to help, trying to see what they can do there, making sure the blue team doesn't get that full cap.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually seeing Pingu doing a pretty good job here against H-Man, but they're both just so low at this point. We're going to be seeing Mime roll in here and try to get some damage onto H-Man, but doesn't look like that's going to fully happen. Heurix almost taking out Pingu. Pingu getting extremely low here, and he's just getting tossed around. 8 burn stacks on him right now, and he is dropped. Looks like Mime going to be able to get the res for his teammate.
Wow, that was almost instant res.
In place, though, and it looks like he got stuck between the Sanctuary and the wall here, so he's going to be able to go back up onto the Waterfall, but he's not looking good. Does get dropped, actually, by H-Man, as well as Heurix able to land a pretty hefty damage spike on him there as well, so Pingu taken out once again. And that's yet another kill for this red team, and blue team hasn't been able to get any kills for themselves this time around, and Mime being taken out there. It's
a completely different team.
Again.
Completely different team from what we saw at the start of the last game there. So they're going to be holding on to a 2-cap here. Really, really good opening coming out from Cutie. Not to say it wasn't a good one from the Sympol Life, but really capitalizing, fixing the mistakes that they had in the last match here. But Vayne getting pretty low. We'll have to see if he's able to get up. He is going to try and go through. I believe he thought that it was his portal. He's going to go through the portal there, able to make it through. And it looks like H-Man should be able to get that res. But at the midpoint, Zeromus getting pretty low, trying to put the deeps down onto it. Looks like Happy Mime, who's getting pretty low. He does get some heal support from the rest of his team. Should be okay for now.
Yeah, we're actually going to see Kensuda taking most of the damage here. It looks like
wow.
Vayne's still trying to get that res. Pingu trying to keep him in the downstate, and that is going to be the case. He is going to have enough pressure and enough conditions that he's going to be able to keep him in the downstate. So Pingu definitely going to finish Vayne off and try to get that 1v1 onto H-Man yet again. But the red team does have that cap in favor of their team. So
that mid fight definitely went in favor of the blue team. They wiped 3 members of Cutie from the map there. Going to be able to take that for their own. So now 1 cap in both teams' favor. We aren't going to see Cutie get much of a lead at all, if anything, with that 2-cap that they held for just a little bit of time here. We're going to see a couple of members of Cutie coming off a respawn, looking to make a push for the core because Waterfall was actually lost as Pingu looks like he got help from, I believe that was Happy Mime who took out H-Man there, so able to 2v1 them, knowing they had the numbers advantage after eliminating multiple members.
Definitely need to take a look over at this quarry node where we're going to be seeing the next major fight happen here. We got Zeromus and Heurix looking for a target here. Looks like Mime is that target. Mime already getting dropped to about 20% health. Schnicky taking a lot of AoE pressure from that bomb as well. Schnicky able to get the portal out just as he's about 1% HP, able to get some healing for himself. He's going to be going into water and trying to support there as well. Looks like blue team does have that double cap in favor of themselves as that quarry node did just get decapped. Looks like they're going to opt to just kind of let red team have that and hold them for as long as possible. Looks like Vayne already about 50% health. Zeromus taking some pressure as well, and Mime right now taking some return as well. I mean, it's really just an absolute brawl.
This is back and forth here, and it's really proving to be in no one's favor. We do have that 2-cap though in favor of this blue team, so they're going to be able to build a decent amount of leads here with points just from holding that 2-cap and really holding most of the Cutie team over at the quarry. That seemed to be what they did on Force as well. They didn't really make a push for the node, but they held them there so long that they got a pretty substantial lead with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're going to be able to keep it going. However, Pingu just dropped here by Zeromus and company there, and they're going to be able to get that stomp off as well. So once again, blue team in another 4v5 here, and we're going to be seeing red team just swarm Mime and Kodo here, and Happy Kid even. And it looks like Mime almost being taken out, probably is going to be taken out by that bleeding. Does indeed. Actually, the steal comes off from Heurix, able to finish him off, and they're going to be able to get the cleave pressure almost instantaneously to delete him from the fight. So here's yet again another 4v5 in favor of this red team, but still,
Kodo's still on that point.
2-cap in favor of this blue team. They haven't been able to capitalize on these situations.
That's the thing. They killed Mime, and what did they give up in the process? They gave up the point and about a 100-point lead just because they held him there. And that's okay because Mime's already off a respawn. They should be able to hold off Zeromus, Ken, and it looks like that's H-Man for the time being. H-Man going to lightning flash up there, trying to get back over to the waterfall and get the decap. He should be able to do that. No one for the Sympol life actually in the area able to get that decap, and probably the full cap for that matter. But a big fight going to be emerging over here at the quarry, where it looks like Happy Kid getting pretty low, has time warp up if he needs to use that, if they're able to spike someone down, because he is here with, it looks like the other Mesmer. I believe that's Mime. Actually, Mime's on the at the waterfall there, but Happy Kid is taken down. So much damage coming out from Zeromus.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get the res here. I mean, there's just too much damage pressure with Zeromus, Heurix in the area, and Consuda just keeping them up. Vayne also here. I mean, this is not a favorable situation for them at all. They're way too spread out to be taking this fight, especially with 2 burst players in this fight as well. Pingu opting to just take the plague form out and just try to sustain for as long as possible, but that won't be for too much longer. It looks like he's going to opt to go into Death Shroud. Kodo now being taken out. Pingu definitely in not a good situation. He's going to be dropped as well, so this is going to be 2 members of this blue team taken out. So this is going to be a 3v5 situation again in favor of this red team. Are they going to be able to capitalize and get something going for themselves onto this graveyard where Schnicky is pretty much alone here? Happy Kid opting to help out his fellow Mesmer Mime over there. And this is going to be a 2v1 in favor of Schnicky with the burst pressure coming out of Invis here and dropping Schnicky almost immediately there. So that's going to be definitely the capitalization that we were talking about. And Heurix is going to follow that up with a stomp in just a matter of time here. And
yeah, it's a big fight actually going on over at the waterfall. There is a decap, no, but like you said, with that kill, that's 3 members of this blue team eliminated from the map. Mime actually probably just going to bail out here because he knows he's in a bad situation. This is a 2v3. Actually, let's say, it looks like, yes, that was a 2v3 there. He had respawns coming, but ultimately, I think we're going to see a 3-cap coming out here for Cutie, trying to get back into this game. Yes, we are seeing a 3-cap. They're back in this one. They are not giving up just yet.
Oh, absolutely not. They are definitely back in this. Zeromus right now taking a little bit of pressure, though, so he's going to have to pull out if they want to make sure that they stay in it. And we're actually going to be seeing Kodo actually almost dropped here, able to make sure that he gets the shocking aura off and saves his own life from Heurix and Zeromus there, who take the pressure of it almost immediately as he puts it up. But Kodo just trying everything he can to stay alive versus the double pressure from Zeromus and Heurix. Looks like Zeromus is going to try to pull off, gets instantly dazed as he ports back in, though. It looks like Pingu now trying to set something up. Schnicky and Mime in the area as well.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw a huge chain of events. We saw the 3-cap for Cutie. They give up Waterfall, and we see the decap come out from one of the elementals, I believe that was Schnicky, over at the core. That's going to be a full cap for them. I'm not so sure on the rotations coming out there from Cutie. I think that was a little bit of a miscommunication, a big misplay coming out on their end. They should not have given up Waterfall.
Yeah, not at all. They definitely had a favorable situation there for themselves. Looks like they're going to be opting for the Lord already, but I think this is the same situation as before, where they're just putting some people in early, trying to get them to rotate in.
And they're going to let an Ellie sit at the core.
And then just pull out, because they have that Mesmer. If they want to, they can set a portal and leave it there, and then get ready for in the future to come back in with a much larger population there of their team and come in and take that Lord, just like.
Well, there's no portal even there right now, so they're not really doing a whole lot with it. I think they're just kind of messing with them, because we saw this in the last game. They didn't even portal people in. They had a failed Lord Rush, and then they pushed in after that. So we'll have to see what they make of it. We do have Schnicky just sitting at the quarry, trying to get to 350 points. The rest of their team is actually faring quite well. Pangu getting pretty low at the midpoint. Time Warp going to be able to stop a little bit of the damage coming out from the rest of that Cutie team. But ultimately, it looks like Cutie trying to mop up the graveyard fight. They're not looking too great over at the waterfall. Zeromus losing that 1v1 to Kodo. But ultimately, we do say, actually, Heurix taken down at the midpoint. That's going to be a good pickup, especially if we're going to see a Lord push coming out from this blue team.
Yeah, I'm not sure if blue team actually wants to just full kill them at this current stage.
Or even Lord Rush. I mean, look at what they've got right here.
Yeah, they're definitely in a pretty good spot right now, and the counter pressure that could come out from this red team is definitely very dangerous. We're actually going to be seeing Mime taken out, and looks like we're going to be seeing Happy Kid set up. I think he's going to be going
Yes, the
in
portal
there.
is at the midpoint.
The portal
Drops
is
it.
set. Looks like blue team is going to opt to take it. Schnicky coming through the portal. He's
It's
the
only
first one
Schnicky,
through.
though.
Pingu is down, though, so we're going to be seeing Kodo. So it's going to be
Is that enough?
1 Mesmer and 2 Ellies here trying to take this Lord. I'm not sure if that's the damage that they want. I mean, that Necromancer does bring a lot to the table for them. Red Lord already at about 40% health, but Red team is strolling in now. The CCs and the damage are going to be coming out for this Red team. Looks like the heal is going to go off, and the stealth for this
That
Lord.
Shadow Refuge is clutch
HP.
coming out
they
there.
They don't know where he is.
That was a really good, that was a very, very good Shadow Refuge there from Heurix, making sure they don't even know where he is like you were saying. Their focus is right now the players. Now the Lord's coming out of stealth, about 60% HP. I'm not so sure they're going to be able to pull this one off, especially with Happy getting so low. The Connies are going to take, he's going to be taken down. Are we going to see another failed Lord Rush on the side of the Sympol life?
Well, honestly,
yes,
Kodo's
we are
going to be going in towards the graveyard. Pingu already has the quarry in his sights. He's going to be able to get the full cap pretty shortly. We're going to be seeing Mime rotate over to the graveyard, and I think we're going to be seeing QT dropped very, very soon, and we're going to be seeing a 2 cap in favor of the blue team. So honestly, the Lord Rush not
could have helped them,
even though they lost.
Yeah, definitely so. I think the red team set back more members than they actually had there. So really, like you said, that wasn't much of a loss. They had a much bigger lead ultimately, but they still have a lead right here, and they still
definitely
a 1 cap in each team.
Not as detrimental as it potentially could have been.
Most teams, I think, would have probably just lost if they had failed that Lord Rush, and that was a pretty good regroup and recovery they had on their end.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing red team. I think they need to +1 this quarry fight. H-Man in a 1v1 with Pingu. Pingu definitely a little bit favorable with that matchup. We're going to be seeing Mime and Schnicky coming into the graveyard point now. And it looks like, once again, Happy Kid setting up that portal. And I think they're going to retry that portal. And the portal does come out, so they are going to go through here. And we're going to see
be 3 of them now.
Well. So once again, they are lacking that Necromancer.
They're sending 4 people here. We already see Zeromus taking down Happy Kid about 50% HP right out of the start with the Shatter combo. That's a pretty good pickup ultimately, but we do have the Time Warp coming out. That Lord already about 50% HP, 25% HP. I don't think that, that is game.
Lord is definitely going to be dropping here, and that will be game yet again. The same exact setup as before. Failed Lord Rush into another portal, going right back in, and just taking that Lord down very, very quickly. Not enough time to answer that. I mean, same exact thing as last time.
That was literally the same thing we had, like you said in the last set, where they failed that first Lord Rush, regrouped, did what they can, then came in with another portal play and took the Lord quite easily. Zeromus was back there, put a nice chunk of damage onto, I believe that was Happy Kid if I'm not mistaken, but still wasn't able to do a whole lot, doesn't have a whole lot of support, so that Lord get taken down fairly quickly there, and they are going to be taking that game number 2. Moving on into the finals to take on the Abjured, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think so took them out today. So they're going to be taking on the Abjured in the finals, guys. We do have a gem giveaway, a second gem giveaway for you guys. What do you want to go ahead and have our people type this time? Maybe a little bit easier than Rubik's Cube.
Man, let's do Lord Rush. Let's do Lord Rush.
Hashtag Lord Rush.
Both series have been won by that Lord Rush. Let's do that one.
Hashtag Lord Rush into the Twitch chat to be entered into that 800 gem code giveaway, guys. Go ahead and do that. And we'll have to see if Wilco picks the winner within the break here. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back for our final match in just a few minutes. We have our final match ready for you guys. It's going to be the Abjured up against the Sympol Life. The Sympol Life really taking down some giants today. Radioactive in the first set, and then it was, I believe, looking like a cutie in that last match. Yes, looking like a cutie. And now on to the Abjured. Let's not waste any more time after that long break. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got for both these teams. We've got the Abjured over here on the red. We see them every week, but go ahead and take us away with them once again.
All right, we are going to be seeing Phantaram over here on his Norn. He's going to be running Dagger Elementalist as usual with Rune of the Holbrack and Celestial Amulet. Going to be taking the Blinding Ashes variant here with Fire, Water, and Arcane. Next, we do have 5 Gauge. He's going to be opting for the same build he's been playing, I believe, recently. However, he's going to be taking Rifle with Rune of Strength and Marauder. Going to be taking Explosives, Alchemy, and Tools here. One thing to take note of is that he is going to be running that Elixir X, so 50% of the time, or whatever it winds up being, he's going to potentially have some Rampage, so that's something to look out for in this matchup. Next up, we have Toker on the list. He's going to be taking Dagger, Pistol Thief. He's got Rune of the Vampirism and Marauder Amulet here. He's going to be taking Trickery, Deadly Arts, and Shadow Arts here, so the exact same thing that we've been seeing a lot of with the Thieves lately. Next, we do have Wakey Wakey going to be taking the same build as Phantoram here, running Dagger Elementalist with Rune of the Holbrak and Celestial Amulet. He's going to be taking the Blinding Ashes variant as well with Fire, Water, and Arcane. And finally here we do have Nas. He's going to be opting for the same build I believe that he's been running. Yep, it is indeed the same build that he's been running for quite some time here. He's going to be opting for Staff, Dagger, Warhorn with Rune of Strength, and Celestial Amulet. He's going to be taking Soul Reaping, Spite, and Curses there with the triple Signet there and the Plague.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this blue team. We've seen three. This is our third time today taking a look at the Sympol life. We've got Kodo playing DD Elliott with the Holbrook Rune Cellar Amulet, running with Fire, Water, and Arcane. Schnicky running the exact same thing, if I'm not mistaken, with Fire, Water, Arcane, running with that Strength runes over, I believe. Is Kodo running Strength? No. Kodo is running Holbrook. Okay, Schnicky is running Strength. So almost the same builds here with the DD as well. Next up, Happy Kid playing Staff Greatsword with Pack Runes, Zerker Amulet running Inspiration, Dueling, and Domination. Mime going to be playing something very similar, running Domination, Inspiration, and Dueling as well with the Staff Greatsword, Pack Runes, Zerker Amulet. I believe those are the exact same two builds. They've been putting out a lot of damage today together, so look for that in this matchup. And finally, Pingu going to be on that Necromancer running the same thing as Nas with the Staff, Dagger, Warhorn with Strength Runes, Cellar Amulet running Spite, Curses, and Soul Reaping for himself. So looking at these guys, obviously the Abjured, you know, winning it week after week after week. But this is a different team that we haven't seen these guys, the Sympol life, go up against the Abjured here. What are your thoughts on their chances here?
Well, this matchup is definitely one of the more interesting ones. I mean, it seems like every other week a team comes through and actually does some work against Abjured, but Abjured just takes it. Following that, this is the week where we would see something like that happen. This is the week where we would see it if we're talking about the pattern that we've seen for the past couple of kind of months. I think it's been about 2 months that we've been seeing this so far. So if we're talking about the pattern, this is the week where we're going to see some pressure being put onto Abjured. And as far as the pattern goes, I mean, this is going to be a solid team to fit that pattern. I mean, they could potentially really put some hurt down, but I'm really just not sure. I think the Abjured probably going to be taking it, but
if anything, it's Happy Kid and Mime that could do some incredible things against the Abjured. We'll have to see if they're able to spike some people down and make some plays like we saw in the last two sets.
But at the same time, this blue team hasn't really played since the last ESL, and this is the first time they've been playing with a Necro, and it's also one of the first times that that Sunfish has been playing Necro competitively. So
yeah, take a look at the opening splits though. We do have a 2-2-1 coming out for the Abjured, actually going to be making it a 1-3-1. We do have Kodo pushing, so both teams actually starting with a 1-3-1 push for themselves. This is something I haven't actually seen a whole lot in a whole lot of games. I want to say both teams doing a split like this. So anyhow, taking a look, I think the midpoint's definitely going to be the big fight. What do we got going on over there?
All right,
that's
looking over at the mid fight.
We're
actually already seeing Wakey taking a little bit of cleave here. Chase trying to roll in and get something going as well. Toker kind of had to pull off as well. I mean, blue team already doing a pretty decent job in this fight. Pingu still at 100% health. Looks like he's going to be the target, however, for some of this pressure, but he's going to be able to take it in stride for the most part here. Able to get a Signet down on Wakey as well. So they've got control of this team fight. Looks like over on the head, they're also going to get some good control as well as Phantoram.
Mime takes out Phantoram. Wow. Great fight coming out there. We do see the portal actually coming out there.
And Happy Kid comes out and takes out Toker almost.
Oh
there
my
as well.
goodness.
The Vampires save him, but
the portal play.
I think he's probably going to be going down pretty shortly.
He should be okay to get out of there. Yeah, he has withdraw up in just a second. I don't think Mime's going to be able to stick on top of him. Still a 2-cap right at the start. Coming out for the Sympol life. That was a great set of plays for them. Schnicky probably needs some help at the midpoint. 5-gauge and Wakey in the area. Pangu getting pretty low here. Is in Death Shroud. Got about 50% HP here with that. So should be okay. He's going to get some help. Oh, Wakey absolutely obliterated. And 5-gauge now running for his life.
Yeah,
should be okay though.
We're actually going to see Wakey try to get away here. They still have control of that 2 nodes. I mean, this if they can hold this, this is going to be it. But Kodo taken out, stays a little bit too long over on that far node. Looks like Toker going to get that free stomp there over on Pingu with that Shadow Step. So that's Pingu out as well. So this is a 3v5 or 3v4 rather in favor of this red team. Nas is pretty low, but he is able to get that full cap, and he's going to full heal out of combat before he gets over to the mid node, where most of his team is ready for him.
And Toker Vampirin's 824 health out of here. One auto attack probably going to take him down. Gets spiked down by Happy Kid.
Take him out there.
Pengu coming off a respawn, going to be able to help out against Fanaram, who I don't think was doing too great. Got the decap regardless, but at the midpoint, take a look once again. Going in for the res onto Toker. Nos able to get that plague res. Pretty good use of that. They definitely need some help at the midpoint. There are 4 members of the Abjured in the area.
Yeah, it looks like right now we're going to be seeing Mime trying to sort of 1v1 against Nos, which I'm not sure is too favorable for him. I mean, the Condi pressure is just unreal here from Nos. Looks like he's going to be opting to go back over to Mime, where Mime is actually winning another 1v1 versus Fanaram here.
Yeah, we did see Nos take out Happy Kid. You know, Happy Kid was just kind of sitting there, not able to do a whole lot. Yeah, Kodo gets the decap, probably the full cap over at the mine. That was a good pickup from him, seeing as his team really needed that. Have about a 20-point lead here, trying to do what they can. Fanaram going to get some help from Nos, but blue team going to be sending an elementalist over here as well to make this a 2v2. We do have a 1 cap in both teams' favor. This fight over here at the Henge going to be proved to be pretty big here.
Yeah, we're actually this is kind of like one of those situations where Abjured actually likes to be in, where they have basically just the ability to kind of play off of Toker's ability to just quickly leave those baited situations and get decaps like this. I mean, this is really what it's about. Toker gonna just leave this, so Kodo kind of forced to just stay here a little bit.
Fanaram just keeps getting spiked down so low by these Mesmers, doing a great job of trying to control him, but ultimately not able to take him out just quite yet. Nos getting pretty low. He's the main target here. Fanaram though, look at Fanaram.
Too much pressure.
He's taken down
here by the random confusion stack that
Nos taken out as well. 5-gauge actually gets the res on the Fanaram and the Elixir S. Shadow Refuge coming out from, I think that was Toker, and 5-gauge going in for that AoE Moa and got a couple members of this blue team. That was a huge turn of events.
Yeah, and with Mime and Schnicky being taken out here, and they're definitely gonna be gone here. But ooh, a little bit of Schnicky gonna stand on the point. They might actually get a full cap out of this for no reason. Okay, never mind. Fanaram's gonna go in with Nos, and they're gonna kill him off.
But still, look, they still got the mine point. Pengu almost got the full cap at the mid. I'm surprised. Yeah, he's going to go on a Death Shroud. I wouldn't be surprised as soon as he comes out of Death Shroud, he goes into Plague, trying to hold on to his decap as long as he possibly can. Will he go into the Plague for it? It doesn't look like he has yet. I'm very surprised he hasn't. He could hold on to that for quite some time against these. Instead, he's going to get stomped out here. We're going to see the full cap coming out from the Abjured.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be getting those 2 notes here, but we are going to see 3 respawns happening very, very shortly with Schnicky and Mime now coming up, and Pingu in just a matter of time as well, following that probably in about 15 seconds prior to that. Looks like Pingu actually going to go for the self-res, as I think he's expecting Happy Kid to come over there and support him, but he's going to go ahead and drop it as he does see Chase come back up the stairs there.
Chase, there's Chase, finally comes out of the stealth. So yeah, and Toker actually getting on top of Happy Kid. Got some help in this 2v1 with 5-gauge. Happy Kid gets really low, gets the portal out. That's going to help him, you know, at least help for the team for that matter. We do see the Abjured taking the 3 cap here. We're going to see them surge ahead in points in just a matter of seconds, I think.
Yeah, but Fanaram in the meantime almost taken out here. Doesn't have a lot left. He does have no cooldowns left. Mesmer's all over him, both of them. And they might be able to take him out very, very shortly. However, it looks like they opt to just kind of play it safe, which is definitely a smarter decision. We're actually going to see, I think, Pingu go to take the mine decap, but we're going to be seeing Chase follow that up. Probably going to stop the full decap. Looks like he's going to actually get the rampage this time.
Oh, but he rampages right into the wall and the decap happens. Oh, man. He used his Rampage 3 to go try to get to him, but he ran right into the wall. I think that was a little bit of a misplay coming out from 5-gauge there.
But in the meantime, I mean, Pingu is able to get 2 members to come over towards this mine fight.
He needs to play and get on the point.
Rampage off of Chase, and is still not taking too much pressure. He's able to hold them. I mean, definitely a good use of their resources here, because the 3 they have 3-man pressure over on this mid fight where Fanaram
got the decap
pretty
too.
low already. If they could take out Fanaram in this fight, then I think it's going to be a pretty good
they're not out of this game.
Pingu in a not so good situation here, and he's going to be falling pretty shortly now.
Yeah, he held off 5-gauge over there for quite some time in that 2v1, made him use that Elixir X, allowed them to get the decap at the midpoint. That's the big thing, and now they're trying to clean up shop. Fanaram actually taken down there by the Shadow Combats coming out from both the Mesmers there. We do see Toker and 5-gauge in that Elixir S able to get that res and get Fanaram back up into that fight. About 100% HP here. Things could definitely turn around in favor of the Abjured at midpoint.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time as well until Pingu actually drops, and he's going to be dropped off node too with it if Wakey can follow it up. But it looks like he's actually going to get away, but looking back at this mid-fight here, We are seeing Fanaram being taken out by that Mesmer pressure. That's just unreal. Schnicki going to try for the stomp, but of course the Vapor Form is going to come out from Fanaram. Looks like they're going to try for the res, and this is one of those situations where they're going to always pretty much get it. I mean, Chase is able to put up that Tornado or the Rampage, either or will work, and be able to get some
still a two-cap right now. Two-cap in favor of this blue team, able to make sure they won the Henge node and mid. We are going to see it looked like one of the Mesmers tried to get the decap over the mine, but they did portal back here, and it looks like Toker getting pretty low. So is 5 gauge. He should be okay for the time being. Kodo under a lot of heat. He needs to get out of here with that FGS. We do see Fanaram making his way over to the Henge. Going to be pursued by 2 of the Mesmers, I think. At least one. We know we saw that 1v1 go in favor of the Mesmer earlier. Wouldn't be surprised to see them take that matchup once again.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Fanaram might be able to get the decap, does indeed get that decap, and it's looking pretty solid in terms of Abjurd's placement on the map. They still have mine very much in their favor. We're seeing Schnicki completely stomped out over here between nodes, so he's going to be waiting for respawn. They definitely have a favorable situation over on the keep where they have 4 people all over Pingu right now. Pingu taking so much pressure. The Moa comes out from that Toss Elixir X, and that's going to be curtains for Pingu as he drops to the floor. Looks like Wakey going to be going for that stab stomp, which will be very
super slow.
Get it through the slow, yeah.
Just super slow there. Did get the stomp regardless. Nos looking pretty good right here as well.
In the meantime, Schnicki coming off the respawn goes ahead and gets that decap. So definitely some good rotations from this blue team in terms of staying back in the game, but we're going to be seeing both Chase and Nos. Actually, it looks like Nos is going to opt for that 1v1. Chase going to be plussing it a little bit later than he would have before, but looks like Nos is going to probably get that decap.
Fanaram gets super low over here as Pingu plus that off of respawn. Should be able to take him out. Gets the fear. Oh, the Connie's going to taking out Fanaram right there. Toker going to come try and plus this. We'll have to see. He's going to probably throw down the SR, get the res, no doubt. Actually, doesn't even throw down the SR. Pingu gets a nice interrupt there. Ooh, good knockback coming out from Happy Kid. I think if Fanaram had, Toker had thrown down the SR, he definitely could have gotten that res there.
It would have been interesting. I mean, Pingu didn't have the fear mark, so it had some potential for sure, but the pressure that Selly Necro can put out, especially alongside some Mesmer pressure as well, I mean, even without a target, you can still put out a decent amount of pressure. Chaos Storm being able to be dropped upon it, so...
yeah, it was a pretty good play coming out from them, that is true. So yeah, perhaps they wouldn't have got that res, but that was definitely a good play coming out from the Sympol Life. At the midpoint, though, we do see almost 1 tick away from getting a decap. We do see the decap coming out there, so 1 cap in favor of both teams with the Abjured. Obviously, a substantial lead right here, but definitely, this is a much closer game than I anticipated. They're not out of it yet, but the Abjured 130 points away from victory.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely really close right now, and they're in a position once again where they definitely have the opportunity to take this. We're seeing a 1v1 between the 2 Selly Necros, and Pingu actually doing a pretty solid job versus Nos here. He has the Life Force advantage, but Happy Kid is going to go in and plus this. Looks like the Plague Form is going to come out from Nos.
Why did Pingu left the point right there? Allowed him to get the decap. I don't think there was any reason he really needed to do that.
Yeah, not at all. We're actually seeing... in the meantime, Nos is going to come out, though, but if we look over at Schnicki here, Schnicki's just kind of trying to get some heals for himself as he waits to go back over onto Wakey, and does indeed do so with the help of Mime. Mime helping to get him down to about 30% HP. Wakey forced to pull out of this node, so they might be able to get a full cap here.
Yeah, definitely. So Wakey, under a little bit of pressure, he really needs to get out of here. Look at the health pools for the Abjured. All pretty low right now, but still only about 100 points away from getting the victory here. The Mind point going in favor of the Sympol Life. They're moving on to the midpoint, trying to get this one. They got 4 members of the Abjured up here. Need some reinforcements in favor of blue. Do see 5 gauge getting pretty low. Is going to get on his steps, try and do something from afar, but still the full cap going in favor of the Abjured. That decap over at the Henge really hurts the Sympol Life. Pink really needed to be on there, let Nos get that decap in the Plague Form. I think that was a bit of a misplay that really could hurt them in the end. I don't think that was game-changing, but that could have given that a little bit of an edge to hold a 2 cap right here and try and get back into this one.
In the 1v1 over here on the Henge, Pingu was doing pretty good, but kind of early casted that Plague Signet, and then Nos just sent it right on back. So this will be happening for a little bit longer, but still Pingu doing pretty good. But,
yeah, Nos had full death shot,
I think this might actually be it for him as the bleed stacks are stacking up here, and Pingu is probably going to be dropped here with that late Plague Form, so that's going to be curtains for Pingu. Nos winning that 1v1 there, even after being
barely
blessed a little bit earlier by Happy Kid, I believe. So this is probably going to be the nail in the coffin here with that 2-cap in favor of this red team, and they're doing pretty solid over onto this mine node as well, where they're probably going to get the full cap here as well.
Yeah, ultimately, I think this game, the scoreboard doesn't really represent how close this game was at the start. Obviously, we saw that 2-cap come out early for the Sympol Life. They looked so good. They obviously, the Abjured capitalized on every little mistake that you make, so even the slightest one is really going to turn their favor. We saw a 3-cap, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. Good recovery coming out from the Sympol Life, but ultimately just didn't have it all the way through the game like you need to take them out.
Just like that, blue team takes a capture point.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing Mime actually cap out the keep node. They did actually manage to get that kill off on Nos. They managed to get the hinge node as well, so they're going to be able to get at least a 2-cap in their favor. They're going to be able to close up some of the point gap here, but I don't think that they're going to be able to get really anything going on this mine node, where we're actually seeing Kodo and Fanaram 1v1. We're seeing 2 members of this blue team try to slide over, but Nos is going to freely get this decap over on the hinge node for sure. Doesn't look like anybody's going to try and get that. Looks like they're going to try to get the decap over on mine in the meantime, though, where Fanaram is just absolutely
blown up.
Deleted here once again. We're going to be seeing the portal actually come out as they go back over to the mid node, but I'm not so sure if Snicky's going to be able to get to this hinge point fast enough for him to stop.
I don't think so.
From happening, which will solidify.
Oh,
this
and he
match
got
if
feared.
Do it.
No way. Fear Mare coming out. They didn't even get the decap over there at the mine either. So
play comes out. 2-cap still in favor of this red team. So yes, indeed, this will be the game. 501 to 349 in favor of Abjured, taking that. Still a pretty
good game
for Abjured there, actually taking a lot of heat. Fanaram taking a lot of pressure as well from both of those Mesmers. I mean, Happy Kid and Mime doing such a great job at eliminating Fanaram from the fight, because he's just not able to take the same amount of pressure as some of these other members are, with the fact that he doesn't have the same effective health pool.
Yeah, definitely. So, and ultimately, that was, I want to go back to that 1v1 between Pingu and Nos. Pingu had that was so close, that full 100% shroud, obviously, that Nos had coming in there, and Pingu not able to get that heal off. Still, that was really close. You gotta applaud him for how close
honestly,
that was.
The problem with that fight was that Pingu was actually doing a pretty good job in it. Nos still had the full Death Shroud, but the biggest problem was once Pingu came out of Death Shroud, he managed to convert some of those Condis, got a decent Condi bomb. He should have just tried to get some more, just lace some regular Condis right on top of him, and then instead of use his own Plague Signet to convert the 3 or 4 conditions that he had, he should have kept that for when Nos used his Plague Signet, which he did use just moments after his originals one did come out. He should have waited for that Plague Signet to return those conditions, because Nos had to do it to stay alive.
That is definitely true,
held that and then returned them back, just like, I mean, it should have been like volleyball, but he just tried to put all of it on at once.
I think he panicked a little.
15 bleeds.
I think he panicked a little, and knowing he thought he was dead there, and just did what he could. So, you know, that was a lot closer than most Necros would come in that 1v1 matchup. So, Pingu, you know, doing what he can there. But ultimately, the Abjured, you know, like I was saying earlier, that was a lot closer than the score really showed. Because at the start of that game, we saw, I don't want to say domination, but we saw a really, really good opening coming out from the Sympol Life, showing us that they can at least beat the Abjured in fights, but ultimately it's not about that. It's about holding that, sustaining that momentum throughout the entire game, which we haven't seen a team do in so long.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing a change here in favor of for the Abjured here, and it's actually going to be Nos switching it up and going over to the Minion Mancer, the secret all-star build here with the Soldier Amulet and Rune of the Pack here. He's going to be taking Staff, Dagger, Warhorn as always with his weapon set, and he's going to be taking
Nos does say that he's dedicating this build to his Mesmer brothers, so because
oh boy,
so do want to point that out, but go ahead with that build. Sorry for interrupting that.
Yeah, he is going to be taking Death Magic, Soul Reaping, and Blood Magic here with the 5 minions. So this is definitely going to be an interesting build to watch, and it's one of the builds that we've seen a lot in some of like the mid-tier play, especially in queues and stuff. And you see some decent validity in favor of the Minion Mancers, but you never really seen a really, really strong player play it. So it's definitely going to be. I'll just reiterate the word interesting.
Yeah, the petting zoo is coming back, guys, in a different form. It's no longer on the Ranger. Yeah. It is on the Necromancer. So, Nos a Doodle bringing it back here.
Even more Minion Mancer in queues if this actually does go according to plan, which I assume Nos really does expect it to happen, and it could potentially happen. I mean, the AoE pressure that this can put out is pretty insane, especially with the AoE cleave that could come out. I mean, it could work, and if it does, expect to see a lot of Minimancers in the queues, even more so than you already do.
Yeah, we already do, but these guys are pretty hard to kill. And especially I mean, it takes a bit, especially with somebody like Nas playing it. Not to say it's a high skill cap by any means on it, but you know what I'm saying in the sense that he knows what he's doing. He's got the team around him able to support him if he does get low. So I have to see what Nas is going to be doing with this. If he's going to be pushing far and trying to hold a 1v1 for a long time with it, we will have to see. As we have game number 2 underway. If the Abjured take this, they will be crowned your weekly number 38 champions. Taking a look at the opening splits, though. Phantom going to cap his home note. We are going to see Pingu and Happy Kid go over to the waterfall. So not much of an interesting split coming out from either team.
We're actually going to be seeing a big stealth play come out from this Abjured team, going back a couple of months here and getting a huge stealth play over on the mid, where we're actually only going to be seeing Schnicky and I believe Mime there. So Schnicky's going to be getting on this point. We're going to see the minions come out from Nas here, and he's going to be summoning those ones up. Mime already taking a lot of pressure. Schnicky taking a lot of pressure as well. Looks like he's going to try to peel out, but that's not going to be happening. As we're going to be seeing the Rampage come out from Chaith. Looks like the portal is going to save Schnicky for the meantime. They still do have that waterfall capping, getting some points for them here. In the meantime, Kodo in that 1v1 with Fanaram, but the mid fight definitely looking like it's going to be in favor of this red team, and it does happen indeed.
Yeah, we do see, oh man, Chaith able to destroy Mime there, able to take him out, eliminating him from the map. Kodo now going to be under a lot of pressure. Toker going to plus this fight, should be able to take this 2v1 quite easily. Has FGS if he wants to try to get out of there, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. We'll have to see if Toker is going to be able to keep up with him. But another mid fight going on. What do we got going on there?
Yeah, over at mid, we did just see Mime actually go and full die there, so he is out. Happy actually does follow suit. Kodo going to try for the res here, but there is a lot of pressure coming out from Chaith mostly, and then also Toker as well, so they're going to be dropping Kodo as well. Pingu trying to get something going there, but you know, it's not going to be happening for them.
I think he's going the wrong way too. Look where he's at. Chaith, Toker, and Phantom all on him. So is Wakey, the 4v1 over here. Play going to save him for the time being, but he is really in a bad position.
I actually don't think that he went necessarily the wrong way. He wants to pull them towards their spawn so that his
but the only one person really needs to deal with him. And the sense that they were able to put 4 there was just showing how much dominance they have at this midpoint as well. There was no one extra to push to the midpoint for this blue team. So Nas was just fine playing his Minimancer build sitting at the midpoint. We do see Mime actually taken out near his gate. Looks like he came out and they were able to eliminate him. So, you know, the Abjured doing what they like to do, starting to roll around and they take people all over the map and probably already going for the gate. We'll have to see what they decide to do, though.
Yeah, this is that old school style Abjured domination here, even with the Minimancer. I mean, honestly, I haven't really seen anything too pivotal from the Minimancer yet. It hasn't been a good match to really like take that in and really determine whether or not it's really benefiting as much as like a Selly Necro would. It definitely has a lot of sustain on the node and can take some decent 1v1s, but there hasn't been a whole lot of situations for that to actually come out. Blue team definitely made a couple of mistakes early on already, and even though they're still pretty much in the game here with only being down about 70 points, they just haven't been in a good spot for the whole game here. Kodo once again in a bad spot and thrust into that corner there. He is able to get out for the time being, and Happy Kid now being the new target for pressure. It's just they haven't really been able to get anything going for themselves on the side of this blue team. And
I mean, we see the 2v1 going on over at the quarry. Chaith is going to come plus this. We'll have to see. Phantom kind of thrown up in the air. Chaith has Elixir X if he wants to use it. Probably doesn't need to. Oh man, the nade spam onto Mime is proven to be too much for him. He is forced out of here. Doesn't have a whole lot to deal with that. Has portal up. Have to see if he's going to use it to get out. But ultimately, obviously, this fight favoring the Abjured holding onto this cap. About a 100-point lead starting to build it.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for the Abjured, especially with this 2 cap still firing away. Nas in a 2v1 with his teammate Wakey. Wakey actually opting to peel out, and Schnicky going to go for that 1v1 actually with Happy there as well. So this is going to be a 2v1 in favor of this blue team. They could potentially get their first member down here in quite some time. Nas taking a lot of pressure here. Doesn't have too much healing left at his disposal, but Happy very, very low as well. probably about the same amount of HP left. But
We gotta
Wakey
seal
being
off,
taken
though.
out off point over at the quarry, and Mime gonna go for that stomp there. Looks like Wakey's gonna opt to do that Vapor and stay on the node to try to
Just
keep
like
that
that, blue
from
team takes a
full
capture
capping
point.
here. But it does look like that actually did indeed
Look at
happen. so
Nas's
there's no
health
letter
right
lead.
here. Oh, he gets reset, able to get out of there alive from the midpoint. He was so low, had only a couple hundred health left. So Wakey is defeated there. Vanderam looks like it looked like he was trying to make a move over to the quarry, but did seize Mime, so not able to do a whole lot with that. But the 2-cap right now in favor of this blue team. With mid decap, we are going to see them come back into this game. Not quite like I expected, though.
Yeah, we actually are seeing Mime in another 1v1
5
here
gauge
with
taken
Nas.
down.
Nas trying to, yeah, 5 gauge was taken out, and Schnicky did manage to get that stomp off. So blue team, once again here in a 5v4 situation, and they're going to be looking to go over toward this midpoint.
so
where
close.
Right now, Nas has all of his cooldowns, but it looks like he will be the target that they're going to be switching to in just a matter of time because they want to take him out as quickly as possible because of the pressure that he could potentially put out while also being able to stay in the fight for very long. Even with some of that AoE cleave, they need to focus him down.
Yeah, great support coming out from Kodo when Happy Kid needed it. They're so close to a 3-cap right here. 5 gauge coming out for respawn.
Almost taken out here.
5 gauge is going to get that decap over at the quarry, but yeah, taking a look at Toker, he doesn't have any cooldowns left. Wakey was actually taken down in the process just outside of that time warp. Vanderam looked like he was going to try and get the res, but I'm not so sure they're going to be able to do it. There's so much damage coming out from this blue team. Wakey is going to be taken out 100%, and Shade's going to be able to get the full cap over at the quarry, but still, losing a member in the process, we are going to see this blue team get back into this game.
Yeah, they're definitely piling up some score here. They're only 5 points down, and if they finish off Nos, which I imagine is going to happen, and it does actually happen, they are going to be taking that lead back on Legacy.
Oh,
not
man.
even at the beginning, but later on.
I didn't even think it was going to happen.
They managed to turn off the Abjured Snowball, something that I haven't seen done in quite some time. And they've been able to turn it back over in their favor and actually 2-cap it and then also decap.
This is crazy. I mean, I didn't think this was happening.
I'm getting a 3-cap here.
I thought that was game over. I thought after what we saw them do to the blue team, the Abjured, for that matter, I thought that was game over, but definitely coming back into this one, just taking advantage of killing a couple of members of the team.
Only a 1-tick 3-cap though, so they weren't able to get too much out of it here, and Schnicky being down definitely going to be turning things around probably if they can't get that, and it looks like Mime being dropped very low as well as Toker gets in there. Looks like Pingu going to try to get something going and make sure that they can't get anything out of Schnicky, but they do take him out. Mime's still very, very low, but the 2-cap's still in favor of this blue team, and if
that's all they need to win.
Toker,
that's all they really need to win right here. Taking a look at the midpoint, though, Toker trying to take down Pingu. Pingu so low, doesn't have his heal up, trying to stay alive, has full dash route if he could get into it, but not going to be able to do that. He's going to be taken out. And yes, oh man, the stomp not coming out. Looked like he did get updrafted by Thaner, and they're still technically on the point, I guess. That's interesting. He's shown off the point for me, but
too, so they're just trying to get as many points as they can on this, and especially, I mean, if Kodo can stay alive for quite some time, and that looks like they're actually going to be able to get the decap. The decap does come out, but they still have a 60-point advantage right now for them to get a regroup going, get recollected, and try to go again, and try to get the same thing happening that they did just 2 minutes ago. And I think that they might have the possibility of doing it. However, Kodo did get chased out, so he's going to be down. That is definitely not a good situation to be in for this blue team because they needed Kodo to stay alive. They needed him to pull out and get regrouped over to the quarry node. But we could potentially see the exact same
they're going
thing
for
that
the
we've
Lord.
been seeing. The exact same thing that we've seen them do in every single matchup.
Time after time after time. And we are going to see Pingu try to get the decap over there. Will he be able to get the decap at the waterfall? So close, just a few ticks away. But like you were saying, Schnicky actually taking it out over at the quarry node, so they're not going to hit 350 points, I don't think. Maybe. Oh, are they? They're going to be like 1 point away. Oh man, 1 point away. And we are going to see them try and get on the Lord.
There.
The Lord is, I think the Lord's going to die.
It's already at about 50%. We are going to be seeing Red
Oh
Team pile in
goodness.
here, and they are going to try to get him some support. But Red Lord right now at about 30% HP. They do have the time warp down. Mime is down. Happy Kid's still,
Happy Kid's running
Happy
away.
Kid looks like he's going to leave here, so I think that's definitely a smarter option. Looks like Kodo in the area as well might try to do something, but it looks like they're going to be opting to pull right on out of there. I don't really know why Kodo's opting to just rush straight in. I think he just wants to keep the Red Lord in combat, and if that's his goal, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job of it, and he's going to be able to pull out a little bit here. And Toker is already pretty low here as well, but he's probably going to be able to take out Kodo in just a matter of time, because Chase in the area is definitely going to support that as well. But Red Lord now out of combat. He's going to be back at 100% HP.
That was so close. I thought for sure we were going to see the Abjured lose their first game in an ESL Weekly since December. And it's not over yet, but the Abjured have a 2-cap right here. Actually, good decap. Phantom Force to get out of here. I believe he had misform. Yes, he does have misform. So forced to use that to try and get out, as he did get plus at the waterfall. So we're going to see a 2-cap come out. They can still win with the 2-cap. They can still do this, but Schnicky taken out at the midpoint. Happy Kid was taken out off point. Kodo is still on respawn. I just don't see this happening right here for this blue team.
Yeah, with 3 of them being down, they basically need to wait for that double respawn from Schnicky and Mime. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It looks like Happy Kid going to be setting up that portal like he usually does here, and he's getting actually pretty much just chased out right now. And, or sorry, not Happy Kid, that was actually Mime, and it looks like he portaled back. He just didn't even want it.
Went through it, though, and we do see Kodo. Man, the Abjured just know it's coming. They're like, guys, just hold on to these points. It's all we need to do to win this game. Make sure they don't take this one, but I think the Abjured are going to prevail. I just look at how spread out this blue team is right here. I don't think they're going to be able to get the decap at mid. Schnicky able to get that one. We do see him. He's actually just going straight for the Lord. We see, look at what Kodo is doing right now. He is inside the base, 1v1ing Toker, running for his life. They're all over the map. I think they're too spread out.
Right now, he can be interrupted and taken completely out here, but if he's able to take out Toker and put him in the downstate where Abjured has to play off of that, they could go for a rush off of that. Looks like they are going to be opting to do that. Mime following in, and they don't have too much time left. I mean, they still have a 2-cap right now, and it looks like they're going to be going for it. 5 gauge is extremely low. Looks like he's going to be able to get off his heel.
Oh,
but
the Shadow Refuge.
Moment. If they're, this is the time that they have to go in with everything that they have got. Looks like Chase is trying for the Rampage, doesn't get it. The Lord
the Lord's about 50% HP.
Uh-oh, Pingu pretty low here.
Is it going to be enough? I don't know if it's going to be enough here. That Lord, they've got a couple seconds. That Lord.
They do get the days off. It's 495, 497.
Oh my God, just got to put some damage onto him.
It's not happening. 501 to 386. So close for this team here. Almost able to pull it out. That's the closest I have ever seen Abjured
on this map in particular.
Such a long time.
You know, that game was, you could basically say that was a 500 to 499 game. You could basically say that, because in the first set, the second set, we saw that same thing, a failed Lord Rush into an actual Lord Rush that they won the game with, but the Abjured holding off at the last second there. If they had just a few more seconds of time, hadn't have given up both of those caps over there at the waterfall and Quarry, I think we would have seen them take that one. That would have been insane. So close for that Sympol Life team. Great effort on their end.
That was insane. I mean, that was, yeah, I have to agree. I mean, that was extremely close. I know right now that the game, I mean, on that map in particular, being able to get that close, that is insane on this team Abjured here, and definitely kind of plays into the fact that in just a couple of weeks, Abjured is going to be going up against some of the best teams in the world, not just in NA, but in the world, and it speaks volumes to how they're going to be kind of dealing with a little bit of that, because these EU teams have been playing very well, and Abjured now is in a spot where the NA teams have been catching up slowly but surely, and they've been getting closer and closer. And that, honestly, this is the closest I think I've seen them to losing on a legacy map in I don't know how long.
Yeah, definitely. Before we go ahead and analyze what just happened, once again, we do have our final giveaway, our final gem giveaway. After that one, I want to do Lord Rush again. What do you think? It's something different this time?
Let's
failed Lord Rush.
Let's do Lord Rush. Let's do Lord Rush.
All right, guys, go ahead and type in hashtag Lord Rush into the Twitch chat to be entered into that giveaway. Go ahead and do that, and I mean, give me your thoughts again on that match. That was so close. We haven't seen a team on ESL stream take it that close on that map to the Abjured. That, like I was saying, that basically looked like a 500 to 499 game.
I mean, yeah, it was really close, but granted, Nos was running Minion Mancer, not the typical build that they normally use in that scenario, so I mean, you could say it probably wouldn't have happened if he was running his typical build, but, you know, who's to say at this point? You never really know. He did manage to do some pretty good things in that fight there. Able to get off a lot of cleave and a lot of AoE poison as well. Could have potentially dropped a lot of their potential healing that they had in that last fight. I don't know. Who's to say? But, yeah, that match was definitely extremely close and definitely one for the books for sure.
Yeah, definitely so. So, Abjured taking home the $400 and the Symbol Life taking home $100 for themselves. I hope to see them back next week. Hope to see them go up against Cutie again and Radioactive. Those were some good games. Hopefully, those other teams will, work on what they can to try and take out this team, the Symbol Life, coming up second place this week. Um, Looking really strong. Again, congrats to them and the Abjured on first and second place for both those teams. So I believe we have our giveaway. I think Wilco is going to be doing that. He's going to give you guys one more minute to enter. So while I do that, we're going to wrap up the show. If you guys have social media, go ahead and follow ESL on Facebook at facebook.com/ESLGW2. That is below me, as well as on Twitter. I believe they're at ESLGW2. And for myself, you can follow me at StormGW2 and Heurix at Digital Pro Sports, along with the rest of the DPS crew in all their games that they like to host. So, any last thoughts from you before we close this up?
All I can say is I'm looking forward to next week, man. I mean, that's been pretty much the story of the last couple of months, but every week it seems like we get just one step closer, and I kind of hate to be a little bit of a broken record where it seems like every week we're saying like this could potentially be the week, but every single week it's so close that it gives you hope that potentially we could see a little bit of change. I mean, not to say that Abjured doesn't deserve every victory that they get, because they really, really, really do. I mean, they play lights out every single week. Their game is always on, but I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if we might see a little bit of an upset before the WTS.
I do want to point out Wilco did just get timed out there. Beyond B did win the gym giveaway, so congrats to you, man. Go ahead and message Wilco, I believe, for your Beyond B, able to get those gems for himself. So, yeah, I mean, any last things from you? I just said that, but as we close up the show, I guess.
Yeah, congratulations to Queen Beyond B, the man at war himself, god of chivalry, winning those 800 gems. But that's it from us, I think. I have nothing left to say.
Yeah, again, thanks to all the teams, 7 of them coming out to participate today, as well as all the viewers. I think we hit over 1K today. Pretty good turnout for that. So again, guys, thank you so much, and hope to see you next Sunday for our Cup number 39. Have a good night.